Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the D1NZ National Drifting Championship for 2025. This is round one here at Taupo Motorsport Park. I'm your lead host, Warren Sear. Stephen McIver is away on other duties, and joining me on commentary this weekend, our technical commentator, Kenny Ruddle. Kenny, welcome back.
Yeah, it's good to be back, Warren, and what an awesome day here at Taupo Motorsport Park. We had a few little earthquakes on practice day, so I was sort of anticipating whether we would have a little tremor in a mid-battle run. It would be the first time that a driver sort of goes, that wasn't my mistake, that was Mother Nature. But look, really excited, looking forward to the Pro Championship. We saw some spicy battling in the Pro Sport class. Now it's time to put the 265 semi-slick rubber out on the track and see what the big grip monsters can do.
All right, and bringing us all the pit lane action, Nick Hoyle. Nick, you're down there, the man on the ground?
Yeah, really enjoying this morning down here with all the Pro Sport drivers, some wicked driving and getting the action. We've had a couple of 5-minute calls, so the Pro, what's coming up for you guys right now is going to be outstanding.
No, it is, of course, Kenny. It's a double-header round, so round one and round two back-to-back, so that's going to bring some different challenges in itself. 100 points on offer, though, for each round. Yeah,
that's right. Big qualifying day yesterday for the Pro Championship. They've got round one today of the season, then round two tomorrow. It's a big ask from the teams. All the competitors here this weekend, so it's a quick turnaround tonight if they've got any mechanical dramas overnight. We've already had a few engine dramas. I think Jeremy Slammett had to change his engine overnight, today we're going to see some guys double stinting cars because they weren't able to compete in qualifying in their usual cars. So you're going to see teammates out there also battling each other, I think, in some of the brackets. So we've got a hectic top 32 coming, and let's get those battles out of the way and into the 16, and let's get battling.
Yeah, one of the things we know is that emotion sort of bubbles to the fore. Nick will be the man on the spot for that. Nick, what are you looking forward to most as you bring us the action from the lane?
Well, look, this season, it's a long season. There's a lot of points on offer, but every point counts, and these drivers, they give it their all. I mean, one of the Pro Sport boys just came in before, and he was just, he made a mare of it, and he was really upset. But that's motorsport, that's driving.
All right, and Kenny, we saw, of course, the phenomenal qualifying effort with 15 drivers scoring over 90 points. We've never seen that before. The level of driving this year is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that was an awesome qualifying day yesterday, and it just goes to show just the level that these guys are now bringing to the table, especially with the new judging. We've got new judges, we've got new competition format, and a whole lot of new rules. So, the style of the battles has changed, and we're going to see some new stuff, new exciting stuff as the season unfolds, because it's a learning experience for everyone in pit lane now. It's a whole new format, and we've all got to get our heads around it, and remains to be seen what happens in the battles.
All right, and new is good, so let's take a look at the competition format that you'll be observing this weekend.
The 2025 D1NZ Championship brings together new elements and a new lineup of changes for the competition format. Each driver is scored on line, angle and style by 3 judging officials, with each judge given 100 points to play with all 3 scores now averaged across the 3 judges. Qualifying runs are now also back-to-back to keep the cars warm and on consistent track conditions. After qualifying, our drivers are then lined up in a seated battle tree, ready for door-to-door competition. Drivers need to set or better their qualifying performance in the lead while maintaining the scoring criteria for each event. The chase driver's objective is to match or better the lead car's performance while trying to maintain close proximity. Our tandem elimination system has changed for 2025 with new scoring elements. Each official will now split their points across 3 battle scoring criteria, where drivers need to set both a lead and chase run, now scored out of 100. Each judge will now only score either lead, chase or style, with 100 points available for each official. The highest scoring drivers will then advance into the next round, battling through a top 16, top 8 and a semi-final top 4 before we battle for the final spots on the podium.
All right, and along with the brand new hosting staff, we've also got brand new judges. They're in the hot seat, the men behind the pen, so to speak. Welcome back to the series, long-time D1NZ competitor drifter, Matt Kwok. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be back. It's been a long time since you've seen me floating around an event like this, but being on the other side of the pen's quite nice, actually.
And you guys have made some pretty significant changes to the way you guys are actually looking at things.
Yeah, we have. We sort of looked at it quite early and thought, if I was going to lose some friends judging, I'd want to be very clear on why I'm losing them. So we've brought some changes in, and so far we've just got through the Pro Sport bracket, and I believe I've still got all my friends.
All right, and speaking of friends, another man who's not afraid to lose a few and who has been competing in motorsport for over 20 years, Tony Gallagher. Tony G, welcome back, so to speak, as you step across the hallway from commentary into the judging hot seat. How's that going for you so far?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous to start with. Comfort's definitely going up hugely. Confidence has gone real high. And yeah, since taking on the role, accepting the role, I suggest, it's gone from being nervous to feeling good, and it's only going to get easier. It's only going to get better, I hope.
One of the things you've talked about a lot is how smooth translates to technical as well.
Yeah, so, being a style judge makes me feel a little bit at home, having a drive on speedway on the dirts where I come from. I've done a lot of laps, won a fair few races with it, sounded a little bit cocky about it, but I know how to carry a checkered flag, and I can drive reasonably well in my eyes, probably not in everyone else's, but, it's all about throttle control, it's all about steering input on the dirt. I can then technically reform that and watch drifting, and I can nitpick at these guys. I say nitpick because you watch these, they're so good, the scores have been so high, so to give them deductions or try and take things off them, to separate them, you really got to look at the little intricacies of what's happening.
All right, and Tony, your speedway career was certainly more successful and you carried more checkered flags than me and Quack combined. Now, we had to balance things out. We've got two Kiwi judges, and joining us on the panel this year as well, all the way from Australia, businessman, entrepreneur, sim racer, driver Benki Bruin. Welcome, Benki, to New Zealand.
Thank you very much, mate. I love New Zealand. Used to live here. It's one of my favourite places in the world.
Oh, so positive, so positive. Obviously, New Zealand is better than Australia, but look, you've come in as the judge who has promised brutally honest feedback.
100%. It's the one thing that I wanted as a driver out of judges was just 100% honest, brutal feedback. And if you set your criteria, stick to it. Yeah, don't go changing things. Just do exactly what you've written in the book, and that way you can give that compounded feedback to the drivers, and you know inside your heart that you've done the right thing.
All right, and I heard you say that there were a lot of drivers in qualifying who were right on that 99 mark, only to put a tyre off and get a 0.
Yeah, so there was guys that had insane runs, and then, we've got a cumulative point system at the moment for dirt drops. If you have one off, another off, that is a 0. And unfortunately, some of these guys have just been doing that. They've also been completely ignoring one of our most important rules and losing 20 points right from the start. So,
all right.
So
zeros aren't going to help you win prizes, and the big prize, of course, this year, along with the Ting Tools Toolkit looking resplendent behind me, is the Drift Tours Japan prize pack. Let's take a look at what both our Pro Sport and our Pro winner are going to receive for the 2025 season.
We're in Japan and we're on tour.
And joining me now from Drift Japan Tours, Ben Odgers, also driving this weekend. Ben, tell us a little bit from a real-world perspective. What do the drivers expect as they enter the wonderful world of Japanese drifting?
Yes, so obviously I've come over from Australia, co-owner of Drift Japan Tours. Myself and Benki own it. And we really wanted to come to New Zealand and showcase kind of what we do on tour and trying to get as many eyes as we can on Drift Japan Tours and try and get people to come and have fun with us. It's all about fun. It's 10 days on tour. You go to 3 track days, iconic tracks. Got Meihan, Bihoku, TKL, everything included. Flights, transfers, the whole lot. The tolls, the fuel, the tyres. You don't have to lift a finger. You get in the car with us. We go have fun.
Thank you so much for putting that amazing prize on. And just your experience just as a visiting international here to Taupo and experiencing the New Zealand culture, you're enjoying it so far?
Love it, love it. I've crewed for James and Luke previously, so obviously got the lay of the land before I decided to come bring my car over. But obviously wanted to test myself against the boys and not give away a prize without putting up a fight.
All right, thank you so much for Ben for thank you to Ben for talking to us about the Drift Japan Tour. Let's go now to take a look at the judges' layout and work out how things roll here at D1NZ Round 1 for Pro.
It's time for Round 1 of the 2025 D1NZ New Zealand Drifting Championship at Taupo Motorsport Park for Day 2. We are on the traditional reverse layout, and the lead line will be in the right lane off the start gate. Judges will be looking for the lead car to hold a wide line approach all the way through initiation. Be careful not to cross the blend line on approach to full throttle outside zone 1. There are some big penalties for this weekend. Cars need to be within 300 millimetres of the white lines on these outer zones, but there will be big deductions for crossing those white lines and creating wheel drops. The ripple strips here on the reverse layout are very hard on the cars, and they are off the ideal line. So again, there will be penalties for the lead car trying to use these ripple strips during the battles. 1 transition zone, 4 outside zones, and 1 final inside apex make up the scoring layout for Round 1. Keeping an eye on those zones will be our new judges lineup for the season. Matt Kwok is back in the D1NZ. He's done plenty of laps around here and will take the seat as our line and lead judge for 2025. Australian driver and international guest Benki Bruin joins us this weekend, scoring for Angle and our chase runs during the battles. He's done plenty of wheel work with Drift Japan over the 25 years experience he has in motorsport. Our final judge crossing the hallway from commentary last year is Mr. Tony G. Tony Gallagher, bringing loads of experience from racing in the New Zealand Speedway circuit, as well as a team manager, driving and judging drifting events around New Zealand.
All right, that is how things are done here for Round 1 of the Pro Championship battles this afternoon. We're about to take a look at the top 32 rundown, and here is how they line up for the TTI top 32. Dan Woolhouse took pole position on Friday, and he'll get a bye run through. Sean Potros and Jordan Joyce, teammates, are battling for a spot in the top 16. Rhodey Knowles, Dave Steedman, Adam Davies. And we've got Luke Fink and Braden Mayer battling for a spot in the 16. Now that is already a stacked sort of a lineup there. You got Luke Fink, Braden Mayer. You got Sam West, Connor Halligan and Clayton Daly. That is going to be an RHP battle of sorts. But Clayton not in his usual car. So you got Adam Whitehead, James McManaway, Jeremy Slammett is another team battle in the TTI top 32 as well. We'll update you more on the battle tree as the competition unfolds. We're kicking straight into action, so we are just going to fire straight into it, and we will update those battles as we get underway. Warren Sear rejoining me back in commentary very shortly. And we are away for the first battle of the afternoon.
Well, we're into it just like that, Kenny, and it's the teammates, the boys from Jordan Joyce Motorsport and SMP Motorsport out there on track, just throwing down. It does look like that is Sean in the Champ Vision car out the front there, and Jordan Joyce tucked into the chase position. These guys have battled each other so many times, it's not funny.
So they're back out there in the 2025 season. Potros leading out Jordan Joyce. Jordan Joyce, of course, with the new livery on the car, the NZKW S14. Now, Sean Potros has blown off that transition zone, which opened the door for Jordan Joyce to really gain some proximity back here. But the Potros machine does have a fair bit of drive. It was almost trying to wheel stand through the end there.
Case of, you're trying to dial him back, right? Because he's an aggressive driver. You ask anyone in the pits, who's the guy that you find the hardest to battle? And it's almost universally Sean Potros at the moment. He's just so aggressive behind the wheel of that 800 odd horsepower S15. Champ Vision on board with him for the weekend, and Sean did want me to extend a big thank you to the team from Champ Vision, as did Jordan to his sponsor for this round, the team from NZKW. You can grab all manner of car parts from the team at NZKW, and that is the Jordan Joyce machine you see there on screen. So Kenny Ruddle, Warren Sear joining you, the old dogs back in the box. Been away for a few years, but here we are back again for the 2025 chapter. Kenny, a new era for D1NZ.
A new era, back to the future from the social media that we were posting up. Heading into the event, we're about to see the second pass here for Sean Potros and Jordan Joyce. Potros will now have the chase position. These guys battling for a place in the top 16.
They crashed into each other last time they battled, right, at Hampton Downs, I think. Did Jordan hit Sean and Sean hit Jordan, or did they hit each other, didn't they?
You'd
Both
have
times.
to get them both in a room to discuss the finer points.
And that is Sean Potros doing. Sean Potros thinks he tucks straight in beside his teammate. He knows him, he trusts him, he knows exactly what he's going to do there. And Sean Potros making himself an absolute menace there. He winds it out to lock. He has fallen back slightly there from a proximity point of view. He needs to close that gap back up again. Jordan Joyce out front. He's been tasked with just delivering that lead line. He's got to open the door up. He's got to give that run for Sean Potros. And Potros cranks it out wide. Jordan's happy though. We talked earlier, Kenny, about the hand out the window, the universal sign from a driver when they are happy with their run. And Jordan Joyce out front there doing a little celebrating.
Yeah, look, it was a really good run straight off the bat. GT Radio replay. NZKW S14 out in front. Jordan Joyce doing all the right things. And then you'll see here, this is this midsection transition. That is the area that I'm curious about for Sean Potros. I think he's having some difficulty actually getting through there, getting the car through there, because that was his big mistake in the chase run. He's tried to claw some points back through that proximity at the end and try to fill that last out of line zone on the exit a bit more.
Yeah, what we know with Sean, right, is he's so aggressive, right? He sometimes does find himself, like he's wound that to lock to stop himself hitting Jordan Joyce. That's effectively what he's doing. He's using the angle available in the car to slow himself down so that he doesn't make contact there, because if he makes contact and turns Jordan around, right, that's going to be adjudged to his fault.
That's right. And the flip side of that, viewing that replay as well, is did the chase car actually fill the transition zone better? Did he actually stack on some angle through there, get that drive through there, or was he just a little bit too off that lead car? We'll await the judge's decision.
And this is why we don't want to be the judges, right, Kenny? Those are the three wise men that we introduced you to before. Matt Kwok, Ben Bruin and Tony Gallagher. They have their own internal replay system that we don't have visibility of. We don't have the same angles, etc. available to us as they do. So they are clearly debating something there. And the universal hand sign, the drifter sign language, the hands flying side to side. Now, regardless of how they score or do whatever anyway, Kenny, with the whole lead chase thing and the style, etc., it is still the same outcome. It's still A, B or OMT.
Yeah, that's right.
There is nothing else that can be locked into our scoring system. So A, B or OMT is what our judges lock in. And Nick's about to give us a result here, I think. Which way are you leaning, Kenny? I'm a little bit on the fence in this one. I like both boys, fans of both drivers' styles, and have a little bit to do with both. They're obviously feeling the heat in the cars there. It's not pleasant out there at the moment. You kind of want the... Oh, it is Sean Potros. Sean Potros gets the call, and Nick will go over and have a chat with him.
Oh, it's a good start to this season for you there, Sean.
Yeah, never the person I want to battle first on. It's when I battle him in the finals, so sad to happen, but the car's going good. Massive thanks to Champ Vision coming on board last minute, and especially my family and friends making this happen.
All right, bro, turn around. We'll see you back out there.
Yeah, I mean, could have been anyone else, but it's good that he got through regardless. Bit of teething issues this weekend, but car seems to be on song. Best I could do, that was that run, so.
Turn around, we'll see you back out there tomorrow.
Yeah, def sees all then.
So the boys still having a good time, Kenny. They're out here and they're drifting, they're happy. I think we are going to try and get an explanation from the judges at some point if we possibly can, but we are running, of course, to a time certain format as well, so sometimes things are beyond our control. Luke Fink, the old dog, the veteran, the global drift superstar, up against one of the real up-and-comers, Braden Mayer, who I'm told was actually a pretty good age-grade rugby player, but then got offered the choice at age 14. Did he want a go-kart? Did he want a drift car? He went drift car, and the rest, shall they say, is history as Luke Fink leads it out nice and wide around that initiation zone. Now Luke has come up short on zone 2. Does he get out to 3? Yeah. Looks pretty solid there. Braden Mayer transitions early in the pocket there. Going to shortcut down to the inside of the track. Braden Mayer in the chase position. Braden Mayer created some proximity there, but I think he might be marked down maybe for, I mean, you can kind of equate it to 5 to 10 metres, right? Every time you dive down the track like that, it's roughly the equivalent of travelling slightly less distance. So I don't think Fink did too much wrong apart from me. I do think if you have a look here, he didn't get to where he wanted to get to out wide. So he's almost missed that completely, Kenny, I think. But other than that, Luke Fink doing Luke Fink things out front with the JDM racing machine. Gets it out wide. There, little waiver in the front.
Yeah, so what's really interesting about Luke Fink, especially during practice and qualifying, he's one of those guys that would opt to actually go on the right-hand side of the box as opposed to running the front wheels through it. and he'd always sort of commit to that line. You'll see it here as he leads out in the JDM S15, and perhaps not quite as deep as the judges would have asked, but in terms of just overall fluidity, getting through the section, he's opening the door here for Braden Mayer to get through. He decided to drop down onto the ripple strip, but did he take too much of the ripple strip with the front wheel?
He's definitely delivering the chaseable lead run, isn't he? I mean, apart, if you might give him a slight deduction for not getting all the way out there, but in terms of delivering a chaseable, consistent run without any jerky movements, Luke Fink is showing you why he is a world-class talent, why he's going to Formula Drift to campaign over there with JDM Racing. You can see why he's won multiple international drift competition, and you can see why he does weird things like chuck a patrol body onto a 350Z chassis and then do exhibition drifting, because he did that last week.
I like that car. It's something. I feel like there's some of those unique builds you don't see them as often anymore.
He told me the thing's a complete death trap. You think you're going to die every time you drive it. But anyway, that's beside the point, because it looks cool and it does sideways things. It does Fink things. Now, I don't think Fink will hold back here, right? Like, Luke Fink is just a guy who will want to come here and go, okay, if you want to make a name for yourself in D1NZ, I am going to put on a chase and I'm going to force you to deliver the lead run that I know you can do. And Luke Fink right tucked into the pocket there with Braden Mayer out the front there. Fink comes through the smoke there. He's driving nicely, just using the lead car as a mobile clipping point. Luke Fink, put your hands together. Oh, he hits him! He does touch him, but I don't think that will impact the run at all.
I think they call that the love tap, right on the finish line. The finish line finishes at the end of the ripple strip. So,
and to Braden's credit, he didn't get out of it, right?
Look at the difference in line straight away from the lead car, using the front wheels across that midsection box that the judges have passed for. Now look at this. This is really crucial for Luke Fink, because he's actually decided to drop in on the ripple. How much of the ripple has he chewed out? Because there's a green line that the judges use for measuring the deductions. And what a great grab by Luke Fink at the end there to just get up onto the door and give him the love tap right in it.
And I do appreciate the fact Braden didn't lift. He just kept going. He just stayed in it. He wanted to earn his stripes. A lot of angle there from Braden Mayer on initiation.
Yeah, lead for lead. Braden definitely filling those outer zones. A bit of a waiver on the second outer zone. Here's the transition. Touch and go where the front and rear of the car need to slice through. I think out to that next outer. Here's the fourth outer zone, and that's where Luke Fink really tried to grab up onto the rear quarter and just power down. Once he got into that pocket, he was fighting it a little. He was fighting it a little to just get into that zone. You saw the car sort of lurch up a little bit, and it was probably a little bit of a left foot brake just to settle the car a little bit. But
Luke's just panel beating Braden's car from him. He signed the door for him. He's going to go and get a Vivid now, I think. And right, Luke Fink was here. Luke Fink gets the call. Luke Fink gets the call. But young Braden.
Luke, it looked like you had a little power issue in the practice there.
Yeah, and last minute the boys found another supercharger belt and we just slapped that one on. We still don't have the right amount of ribs, but it's clearly enough to get the magnetism pumping. I also stayed down a gear, so car's getting hotter now, but hopefully I can be a bit more confident in this belt now and go up a gear. So.
Well done, mate. We'll see you out there again.
Thank you.
Braden, welcome to the pros, mate.
Yeah, that was a pretty...
Great battle for your first one in the pros, man, up against Luke Fink. How did that feel?
Oh, it was pretty unreal. You can't really beat it, can you? But no, that was pretty good.
Well, we'll see you out there again tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, Braden.
Braden Mayer, of course, having a great run in the Mad Mike Summer Bash.
Yeah, sponsored by the Authentic Honey Co. and the Domino Tyre Supply for this weekend. We are, of course, now in the Control Tyre era as well, Kenny. The 5 affiliated brands that are able to supply tyres to D1NZ for the season. A little bit of a contentious topic perhaps, but here we are, we're running, we're live. And
well, it's not too much different from what other series around the world do. So I'm just taking a look at this. So Luke Fink gets the win, which means he'll line up against Adam Davies. So now I've just heard from Race Control that Johnny Latham has retired from competition. So he is actually pulled out of the tandem eliminations today. Will he be back tomorrow?
Wow, that's interesting, isn't it? The TRD NASCAR V8, it hasn't been happy, has it? He had some teething problems on Thursday.
Maybe they've decided to save the car today, spend the extra hours working on it today and get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, it may be a confidence thing too. Johnny might have felt more. I think Johnny did qualify better, I think, for day 2 than he did for day 1. So Kurt Blackie does have to drive off the line here because he has made it out, and I think he just basically has to start the section. You and I talked a lot, Kenny, about whether you would use this as a full noise sight lap or whether you would save the car. And I always wonder the wisdom of this, right? When you come out and you send it, more often than not, sometimes you can damage things in the back, and Kurt has torn that rear bumper off the car by doing a little dirt drop there in Wolfie. But hey, Kurt Blackie's a young man. I think he's got some residual anger about being called old in promo boy years yesterday. So anyway, he's having some fun out there for the RHP team. Now, while we mention RHP too, Kenny, I will mention that we do have a prize for the team which amasses the highest cumulative points across 2 cars over round 1 and round 2 as well, courtesy of Central Wood Recyclers. So thank you to Central Wood Recyclers jumping on board. Great to see new brands, new partners. Kenny joining us for 2025 as we take a look at what is the GT Radial replay.
So Kurt Blackie advancing through over Johnny Latham, and he will be lining up against Michael Thorley, a former pro sport champion.
There is Clayton Daly now against Connor Halligan. Connor Halligan is the name on everyone's lips at the moment. Connor Halligan is seen as a real up-and-coming star. Now, there's a big waiver on the entry there from Halligan. I just noticed that the car doesn't look settled. It looks like he's fighting it. It wants to grip up and almost go straight on him.
What's one of the things to watch out for too in competing in the afternoon? You've been out of the seat all morning. You get one sight lap about half an hour before you're supposed to get into competition.
Just shut that down.
You know,
shut that down.
What is the track condition? You know, the track condition changes, so it's chasing that grip level, dialing it in and dialing it out. If it's too grippy, then it's going to be a monster to drive, and it's just going to be too difficult to get the scoring zones. But at the same time, look at the chase car in the back there with Aidan Daly. Or no, sorry, this is it Clayton Daly,
Clayton and Aidan's car. Yeah, Clayton unfortunately damaged his Supra yesterday, and they lost an LS engine, so he is in Aidan's car today. That is also LS powered. I still want to know if that shut down for the end of the section.
Will be the end of the ripple strip, so we'll have a look. There's that waiver that you were talking about.
There's 2. Happens again there too. There's a steering input there.
Yeah, he is fighting the front of that car a little bit.
Yeah, like it wants to go ahead on it, like it wants to sort of take off and grip up. I think, is he 1 JZ or 1.5 JZ? I can't remember what Connor's setup is.
I think it might be in the 1.5.
Someone knows, let us know.
Or is he
it is of the JZ family.
A different
Toyota
combination.
Sponsored by Henson and Murray Engine Builders here at Taupo Motorsport Park is Connor Halligan.
It's the head and block combination, isn't it, for the 0.5, so depends on what head and block combo he's put together.
Yeah, how does that work? Is
so
it the
Toyota motor under the bonnet of the Nissan S14.
How does that work? Is it the 2J bottom and the 1 head, or is it the other way around?
I think there is a difference in certain series blocks and heads, so there's like slight differences with what you can achieve out of them. I'm sure a Toyota expert can jump in the live chat on Oversteer TV. A big shout out to all the fans tuning in from around the world, Fox, Sky TV in New Zealand as well as in Pacific TV. We're in the islands as well as around the world online on Oversteer TV for the first time, and Aidan Daly's gone. Clayton Daly has gone and matched that wider line, but he's pushed it wide with a big deduction.
Yeah, but then I suppose Connor's been forced to go there off the inside, but then Connor's car's just straightened up again, so he's definitely fighting it. Connor Halligan's having some challenges there with getting that car to rotate out to angle and then stay out to angle, but then Clayton Daly, of course, has had that huge mistake on zone 1 there, and we will get obviously the judges are the judge of fact there because we are running on the 3 strikes rule, but there's definitely 2 off here. 1, 2, 2 at the same time, so that's a major.
That could almost be
is it a 3?
Straight off the bat. He's then dropped the wheel on the inside curbing there, so Connor Halligan, for all his battling that he's got going on in his car, you got Clayton Daly driving his brother's car, so he's not used to driving it, and he's having a bit of a hard time out there too, so a scrappy run so far for these two here in the top 32.
So if you have a 2 off plus a 1, is that the equivalent of a 3? I don't know the answer to that from a technical point of view. If you go 1 plus 1 plus 1, that gives you the 3 strikes as a 0. But if you do a 2 plus a 1, is that? I don't know.
It might be
it would probably be pretty close.
I think it would be very close.
Because it's a major plus a minor, right? You're at a huge disadvantage just by that point anyway. Anyway, we hope you're enjoying the live drift action. A new chapter of D1NZ starts off here at Taupo Motorsport Park. There is that beautiful 10 Tools prize pack that the drivers are competing with, along with points for the series. And there is Clayton straight over there to Connor Halligan, just congratulating each other on a decent drive. Pats on the shoulder, a little bit of respect there, and just waiting on a result to lock in. The way Clayton's acting there, he thinks Connor's gone through, and that is how the result plays.
Great start at home for you, mate. How did you feel out there?
Honestly, that was a struggle. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but we've been fighting it all weekend. It's a brand new car, no testing, it's just how it ended up. But yeah, we're still struggling with just so we're going to have to figure it out.
You've got another shot later on, so
all right,
mate. Good work.
Sweet, cheers.
It makes me feel better when the drivers say things that back up what we see, Kenny, in terms of,
Wait,
it's a brand new car
no.
Whatever's going on. Oh, hang on, is Nick still with Clayton, or are we going straight back to the battle? We have gone to a battle here on track. So I think that will be Jeremy Slammett and James McManaway, the boss man versus the New Caledonian teammate. Oh, they lived together, I've just been told. Just had that information come through. Jeremy rebuilt his engine overnight. So he towed the car back to the Manawatu region, rebuilt an engine overnight, towed it back up here, and somehow he is back here competing. Jeremy Slammett, he's got a really interesting social media following. If you speak, I believe it is New Caledonian French at all, really interesting to watch there as the boss man leads them away in this battle. Jeremy Slammett in the chase position in the Supra. James McManaway on what he calls the barn find out front, the R32, the old faithful that has never let them down yet. They seem to just hammer away on it, keep working on it. Jeremy Slammett's had a major moment there in the final section there, and he's almost gone straight there. It's put him in a really weird position there, Kenny. As we take a look at the GT radial replay, the boss man out front from JDM Racing and Jeremy in the chase position. Both of them untidy through zone 2, but I guess you could say Jeremy is emulating the lead car there.
Yeah, what's real interesting, it's been an uphill battle for Jeremy Slammett. They changed the motor overnight.
So there it is. There's a big correction.
Good to see him back in his own car, but it's the JDM, like you say, the JDM guys just sort of have this this throttle stamping sort of drive.
It's what is it? Animalistic style. It is brutal, right?
Animal style.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching. We had a great comparison yesterday, sort of the stomp versus we talked about through Fangadan's qualifying the stroking the pedal, and you can hear it in the throttle application from Fangadan. It's big long throttle, like almost like a cat purring, coyote purring in this case. All right, I think it'd be advantage James potentially off that.
Another team battle here. The boss man up against the young fella.
And they were going to have to share a car, weren't they, at one point? So that was going to be interesting. But Jeremy has got his car fixed overnight, so it's good to not see battles decided by team orders or higher qualifying results as such. We want to see each and every one of our D1NZ drivers out on track doing what they do best, going sideways.
Well, I think he might have to do the second. He might have to drive the 32 tomorrow, I think.
Ah, did he lose? So he lost the engine after qualifying.
It was the 2 qualifying sessions.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That threw me off a little bit there, because it is an interesting anomaly of this round, because we are running dual back-to-backs, that you are allowed to use a different car for battle tomorrow. So Jeremy, I think, might be even able to jump back into his car now. We'll confirm that for you under the official rulings. Jeremy's created a decent gap there over James McManaway. Looks a lot more settled in the lead position, doesn't it? It didn't look comfortable in the chase, but he was a lot more settled out front, Jeremy Slammett. As always, get involved in the live stream chat. Oversteer TV subscribers can jump in there and share their thoughts. We do love how passionate our drift fans are, and we love hearing what you guys think out there. Look, we do ask that you keep it respectful at all times, because there are obviously human beings involved in everything, from a volunteer, from a judge, from a driver's point of view. So you're entitled to your opinions, but hey, let's keep it above the belt and not get too personal there. But let us know what you think in the live stream chat. Just taking a look at the JDM team. So I think we've got something odd coming up next in terms of, I think we had an issue with the VIP cars, didn't we? In that they had to qualify in the same car, and as a complete fluke, they've actually ended up battling each other. So I assume it'll be the primary owner driving the car. I'm not sure whether it was Sam's car or Luke's car that we'll see. Sam's car or Dan's car that we'll see next. Let's see how the judges rule this one between the boss and the apprentice. Jeremy's out of the car. Gonna go and shake the boss's hand. James has got his sunglasses. Always wanting to look good on camera, is James. the barn find and the rebuilt Supra of Jeremy Slammett. I told James to keep his suit on this morning for all media, and straight away it's just hot out there, isn't it? It's just so hot. It must be a good 35 degrees, I reckon, in pit lane, just with that heat radiating off the
well, especially
asphalt.
once you got your race suit on.
It's probably
race suit, helmet, balaclava. You got your fireproof undies.
Are you? We're on Sky TV, Kenny, so I'm not going to rebut that one. But I mean, to Jeremy, it's probably not even that hot. It's probably just a normal day to him.
Spicy battling and spicy dinners. Oh, the judges.
The serious faces. There's the serious faces.
Perhaps we're going to see our first
Are
OMT.
we going to see our first OMT? So if you didn't watch any of the Oversteer content, this year there has been a change in that we have a judge focusing on lead. We have a judge. Oh, there it is. James McManaway gets the call. The JDM boss.
Go, James. That's a great start to your 2025 campaign.
Yeah, completely unexpected. I mean, Jeremy is a phenomenal driver, so it's just, yeah, I don't even know what to say, really.
And mate, you've made all this thing happen for everyone. We're so thankful that you've made this happen. So.
No, it's all about keeping the sport alive here in New Zealand, and we want to see it do better and do well and kick the ball.
All right, mate, we'll turn the car around, we'll see back out there. Jeremy, mate, you had a massive night.
Yeah, it's been a long night yesterday, yeah.
Fresh engine, and you're out there.
Yeah, the car feels way different than it used to. And yesterday I got almost no laps into that layout. I went into the qualifying and the engine broke up on me, and yeah, it's just hard to put it all together. But I mean, I had fun with James there, and yeah, it was cool.
Look, tomorrow's another day, so we'll see you back out there.
Yeah, I'll come stronger.
Well, some crazy action happening in the background there. Great to hear from Jeremy Slammett, originally from New Caledonia.
What was the official calling here, Kenny? This is just an exhibition, isn't it?
I'm wondering if... Oh, okay. So
because I think they qualified in the same car, so this is just these guys have come a long way from the South Island, the VIP drift team. Dan Caldwell, Sam Edinburgh, they're out there just getting some laps in. There was an issue with one of the cars yesterday, so they qualified in the same car. By a complete anomaly, they've ended up having to battle each other in round one of the D1NZ, which means, of course, only one of them can actually drive the car at any particular time. So this is just an exhibition battle, and I think we should have a result on the screen, Kenny, which will show which of them went through. I can't.
You wanted an exhibition, but there you go. If you ever want to see it, you ever wanted to see a drift car smoke one of those flags, we've got a flag down.
What a way to promote NZKW. Here's your flag. It's now in 17 pieces, thanks to Sam. I'm pretty sure it was Sam Edinburgh. One's frame and truss and the other's steel.
Well, Sam Edinburgh, he's the guy that got knocked out, I think, essentially. Right. So the teammate is having a bit of fun out there. And Dan Caldwell will be the one representing VIP Drift for the rest of the day.
Yeah, now I do want to reference something that has just come up in the chat in terms of OMTs. So for this season of D1NZ, effectively what is happening is there is one judge watching lead, there is one judge watching chase. Both of those judges are scoring out of 100 points. There is then one judge who is watching style, taking into account both the lead and the chase. So unless there is a significant advantage either way, effectively that will almost call as a 50-50, like a 5-5 in the old speak, or a 5.5, 4.5. But what we are seeing, and the reason we're not seeing one more times, is because the lead runs are being scored to qualifying criteria. So you may have, for instance, a 98 versus a 97, and then a chase which is an 85 versus an 82, and that is why we are getting the clear-cut results we are getting, as opposed to seeing multiple one more times, which have kind of been a thing that's gone on for probably too many years.
A fun fact: it's like I think it was over 60% one more times are from 0-0 battles.
Yes. And no one benefits from that, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody has a problem with seeing a great battle again, but when you see a 0-0 or you see a 10-0-0-10, nobody really enjoys watching that again. Even the drivers don't really enjoy it. So the reason we're talking over the top of this is because the VIP boys are just putting on an exhibition run at the moment. So we just want to bring you a little bit of clarity. Is the other one going to go flying off now and take out the other flag? Yeah, he dropped as well. What's with the VIP boys and just claiming half of Taupo Motorsport Park?
I think they're going to end up in Justin's office again.
Oh no, there's.
They are going to get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, there's some significant penalties for damaging the grass here at Taupo, I'm led to believe.
GT Radio replay of the exhibition run between the VIP teammates. And the reason for the exhibition run, if you missed it before, they both had to qualify in the same car for this event. So the owner of the car, Dan Caldwell, has got the victory in the 32, but we decided, you know, you guys have come a long way. You might as well, you've got the other car fixed, you might as well get out there and put on a bit of a show for everyone.
Yeah, now Dan Caldwell is currently sitting second in points as well in Drift South, I'm told, so it's great to see the boys making the effort to come up here as well. It's a long haul, isn't it? Even when you got a big rig.
It's awesome to see the South Island talent coming back to the North Island. I know there's a running joke from some of the die-hard fans of D1 North Island, but we are making our way back to Nelson at Kohatu Drift Park. And we're looking forward to hopefully getting back there and getting back to the first South Island event in a very, very long time.
Well, I think if we had, I got to be honest too, I think if you had more numbers from this, I look at the series that are truly national, right? And they've sort of got the numbers to make it work. It is a big ask to ask a 95, probably even 98% North Island field go south too many times, right? Like it's just a big... Anyway, we're going to talk to the judges. Mr. Kwok, Mr. Gallagher, you guys have had your work cut out for you. Are you right up there in the books? I bet you got the aircon cranked up because it's getting pretty hot and fast.
Yeah, we do. We've got it cranked up, but it's still very warm in here, believe it or not. But it hasn't been too bad so far. A couple of people have zeroed themselves out. Yeah, not overly stressful at this point, believe it or not. I assume when we get into the top 8, top 4, it's going to be a bit hectic, but for now it's going very well.
All right, now, hey boys, I know we're stretching back into the memory banks and both of you are aged citizens like me, but can we talk about what we saw in Pro Sport earlier with Guy and Dean? Are you able to remember that far back? I know it was an hour ago, but really keen to understand what actually happened there, because Kenny and I were debating it, and I know there's a bit of chat around the pits, and yeah, what was the call there, mate?
So what we come to after watching the footage was Dean was very, very inside. Guy got very, very greedy, possibly not letting Dean switch back, but Dean was also so far on the inside. If Guy wasn't there, Dean was going 2 wheels off regardless. So we actually called that 0-0.
I did wonder that. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, so we shared the blame, and then obviously Guy walked him. Yeah, I think he'd been told, I believe, that he'd lost and he was going out there to just go ham, and it sort of showed in the way he ran. I'm pretty sure he's the first guy to go down the dipper without lifting. So,
I think Dean Young also was, you guys were rechecking the amount of wheels off that Dean had in the chase as well, I think, as well. So that clarifies it. I was wondering if they actually 0-0'd the first run, and there you go, there's the answer.
I think that's a great explanation. And look, I want to say to you guys, while we've got you on camera, look, the feedback to the judging has been overwhelmingly positive, and really enjoying the whole lead, chase, and not seeing the OMTs. But you guys need to get back to work because we've got another battle on track, and it is Justin Patterson up against, is that Ben Odges from Drift Japan Tours? It is.
TTI Scrub Box. So we've got a couple of best chassis ready to do battle. JP, Justin Patterson with the JZ. I think they're both running the Toyota JZ under the hood, straight 6 turbo.
Justin biffed his other car into the wall, didn't he, at Bay Park? I think he bent it quite significantly.
He's pretty excited about driving the new chassis, new rig.
We saw him yesterday too, really come to life in qualifying too, didn't we?
Fresh car for the season and debut in the Pro Championship. So let's see how this unfolds.
And he and Rhodey will be one of the teams in contention for potential overall teams prize. I want to make that a thing for the season, Kenny. I reckon that's pretty cool. A teams competition could be quite cool as well. Benny Odges out front from Drift Japan Tours. You would have heard him explaining earlier on what's going on with that major overall prize pack. How cool is that? Our Pro Sport winner and our Pro winner will go to Japan and do a tour and experience that Drift Japan culture. As Ben Odges, nice and tidy. We saw him so smooth, so flowing, and so fast yesterday in qualifying. Both of his runs way up over the mid-90s, and there it is from Benny Odges. A nice chase run, a nice lead run, which enables a great chase.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So we take a look at the lead car through the start initiation zone, on running the front wheels through that box, which is what we want to see. And look at Justin Patterson just really trying to get into that pocket there. A little bit of a gap through the transition. That transition on the downhill section is always a little bit difficult. And look at the drive. Look at the drive that Justin Patterson put on in the chase there just to try claw back some track position and get up on the door. But was that a little bit too much? Well, I suppose, you're allowed to use the left foot. You're allowed to use the handbrake to get it. Anything you can do to get up there, but you don't want to deviate too far off the qualifying line or the proximity line, you know, so to speak, as the lead car with a mobile clipping point. So you don't want to do things too ugly. You want to try and smooth things out, but you'll see there.
There it is, yeah.
A few dabs of the handbrake to try position the car, but he's keeping it sort of in the old school style where you approach the rear quarter first and then really get up onto the door.
Yeah, it's the old, we used to call it the Japanese kind of proximity, right? And it was a guy who made it really famous, probably first of all in New Zealand, was Sky Zhao, because he was one of the first to go to a Matsuri type event and then bring that really aggressive Japanese chase style to New Zealand, which sort of resulted in a bit of that contact, and nobody really knew how to deal with it. And to be fair, no one knew how to judge it either. Like, it looked cool and everyone became proximity junkies for a while, but at what point are you creating proximity by sacrificing everything else?
Yeah, that's right. It's all good and well that you can get right on the door, but are you filling any of the challenging scoring zones? It's a national championship. It's all good and well that you can link a section, but can you actually link a section and hit all the scoring zones that the judges have put out there, which is more than often than not set out in a very challenging way?
I heard that actually yesterday.
Hey, has that car bogged?
Well, he broke the gearbox yesterday.
Oh, so he's still running in fourth?
Yeah, he might have broken that third gear again. So Benny Hodges overnight had to replace the third gear in the TTI gearbox in that car, and that looked like it just didn't want to go, and now he's really fighting it. He has been absolutely smoked by Justin Patterson out front there, and with that being a mechanical, Kenny, I think that, Benny Hodges just...
You got to feel for him.
I feel horrible for him. He's all the way from Australia. He's made the commitment to ship his car over here, and like, that's just unfortunately the way drifting goes a little bit, right?
Yeah, well, that is motorsport. I mean, so he lost third gear yesterday, and so he was just committing to the fourth gear. I wonder if he got into fourth a little bit too early.
Maybe even higher. Maybe
or just the transition from, I suspect he's running a sequential.
Yes.
So
yeah,
he can't just do the quick change across with like the H pattern. So
yeah,
perhaps there was a bit of an issue trying to get it into fourth gear and then trying to get the revs up. I mean, clutch dumping it in fourth gear on the entry there while you're bogging down is a bit hard. He might have had to go back to second or fourth.
I don't think Justin...
I think it's pretty hard to do in a sequential though, you know, like you don't want to break anything else in the car, do you? So
no, but Justin Patterson is not going to feel too bad for him, I don't think. I mean, Justin Patterson on debut in the Pro Championship, he'll be pretty ecstatic if he can get a result going his way. You can see the judges there just looking at what is going on in the replay and trying to probably, in their minds, work out as well, because they don't know what's happened, and unless Ben Hodges has spoken to one of our team about what's gone on there.
Great lead run from Justin Patterson, so he'll be stoked with that, but yeah, hard luck for Ben Hodges, of course, based out of the JDM Racing Garage this weekend too, so they've taken the internationals, a couple of the international drivers under their wing, so they've got 5 cars out of the JDM Garage.
Are we looking at what are we looking at again on the replay? Is it just seeing if Justin did make any mistake? I'm not seeing anything major that would make me think it would offset those two kind of big straighten ups. It's almost the same behaviour. So, I mean, Conor Halligan's car is probably doing something different, but it's the same thing where the front wants to go straight in. And you see it here before the conclusion of the section. The wheels are almost the opposite way. Now, I know that some series are particularly harsh, right? That's actually an incomplete or a 0, I think, if you go to opposite lock around the corner, just deemed as understeering. And anyway.
Yep, you are right. I'm just wondering if they're just
being sure, maybe?
Just being sure that maybe it was an incomplete, or maybe he did actually get a scratch full of points on the board in the chase run there. Or I don't think Justin's done anything wrong in the lead, so perhaps they're just...
Well, yeah, they might be just saying, okay, so he's just a long way back. So what is... So in terms of a long way back on the entry there from Ben, is it a mechanical? Is it just a late start? Is Justin not accelerated? What's going on? I think the judge is just wanting to make sure that they're absolutely 100% correct in how they see this battle.
I mean, the bog on the start, you see the car sort of lurching and like you're just struggling to get it into gear, or it had to cycle through 2 gears to get to 4th.
So there is a waiver there, right? So I think there's a deduction there and a deduction there. Oh, look. Is that our friend Darren Kelly? No, he's got a helicopter, doesn't he? Darren usually arrives by helicopter. Who's got their plane license?
It sort of looks like something like Jacob Hakarai would go for a ride in.
Well, or Rex from Mimico might have. I mean, Rex did helicopter into the last round I saw him at. He told me he was down the bottom of the South Island showing someone some machinery, and he needed to get back to the last event. So they jumped in a helicopter and came and had the VIP experience. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, fly in by helicopter and enjoy some drifting action. What better way to enjoy your passions?
You mentioned Zach Pole's been doing a lot of helicopter flying. He got his helicopter's license, and he's really enjoying it. He said to me, "Bro, this is cheaper than drifting."
How can flying a helicopter? Well, it seems silly, right? But then we were talking.
He said it's just as much fun, but it's cheaper to do.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday, right? Because there's no change for these top cars now. 150 to 200k is into most of these. I mean, you might have a kind of a basic-ish build that you might be able to go okay and then pro.
You could field a 60 to 100k build and be competitive, but the really, really top dogs, you're looking at $150,000 cars. Really, once you've added up all the parts and all the extra bits and bobs and modifications, it's the man hours too to build the cars as well.
I'm really intrigued as to what we're looking at here. I'd love to find out from the judges what they are looking for. I understand completely why they are doing it, because there is so much invested in it, and there is, I mean, the trip is incredibly valuable to Japan, etc. But anyway, it is what it is, and we move on to the next battle. Potros and Fanger have some history, don't they? Some pretty wild battles over the years, Kenny.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
Here we go. Do we have a decision?
Fanger Dan in the V8 with
picture, the old dog with the coyote howling.
The 2J of Sean Potros, so good turbo versus V8 battle about to unfold, but we're still waiting on this result. I'm intrigued as to know why it took so long. Wow.
Wow, so there is our first one more time. So that is our first one more time. Would it be 0, 0, 0, 0? But I don't think Justin completed, did he?
We will have to go back to the judges for that one. In the meantime,
Fanger Dan, who he just quietly snuck into the venue yesterday. We weren't expecting to see him, but Castrol have backed him for the season. And here he is, Fanger Dan, the 4-time national drifting champion, behind the wheel of the RTR Mustang with the Coyote underneath the bonnet, hitting 900 odd horsepower. Fanger Dan's car just carries so much angle. It's got to be quite unnerving to try and chase it from a chase driver's perspective. Because Fanger winds so much to lock, but then it just goes again, right? Potros, though, he is in there. He is putting on a great show. Put your hands together at the venue. But Sean Potros chasing the 4-time champion. Probably one of the better battles, one of the more even battles we've seen so far, Kenny.
Yeah, well, there wasn't really an expectation to see Fanger this season, because we thought after 4 championships he was going to take a season off and just maybe turn up in a couple of rounds. But last minute, Castrol knocked on the door and said, "Hey, we want you to do the full season." So the car's not even fully sign written. He just said, "Put the car on the trailer literally on Thursday night, get down here and have a crack at it." So what a run there from both of these guys. I'm looking forward to see what happens with Fanger in the chase, because we know sometimes if Fanger can get in the pocket, he can get real hungry and on the door.
Well, he's got that torque at his disposal, doesn't he? So you can't run away from Fanger like maybe you can with a guy who's got to rely on a turbo spooling up, etc. Fanger Dan's power is completely at his disposal. And we talked about his throttle modulation. His throttle control was just to the fore yesterday in qualifying, and we saw it and we heard it. And Fanger Dan...
It's interesting watching the Champ Vision in the chase there, the S15 of Sean Potros, just how the front was riding through there, just looking at the front wheel work and the little intricacies of the cars, as Tony G called it, how he was flying through that last sector.
We do enjoy watching the body language of the cars. We were talking a lot yesterday about some of the cars were quite rough. They were jumping around, they were bouncing, etc. You generally don't see it with the pro cars as much, because they're a lot more settled and they're probably just that little bit more experienced in setting up for different sections. Most of the pro sports would have never been here. Did that drone just land on Sean's car?
I think George
is just having some fun, just tapping on the roof. Just drift things, right? That drone, by the way, amazes me. What did you say it does? 150k?
Well, it can keep up with cars, yeah.
So Potros,
maybe not at Pookie.
Right, so Sean Potros has the lead, sponsored by Champ Vision and the Ekdale Group.
RIP Pukekohe Park Raceway.
Yeah, for nothing, for horses. Anyway, let's not get into that. We'll start an online war. This is what you were talking about, Kenny. Fanger Dan, the 4-time champion. I think a relaxed Fanger Dan and one that doesn't care.
And certainly didn't care about the smoke through the transition there, but what a lead run here so far from Sean Potros, opening the door for Fanger to get on the door. Sean Potros, Fanger Dan. Sean, oh no!
Montrose! Oh! Did he hear that coyote howling?
He had it all.
Did he hear the coyote howling? He had to.
He had it all.
He had to take a look.
He had it all and he blew it.
I reckon he had a look.
Oh.
I would love to see. I reckon if we have a camera look, I reckon he had a look over his shoulder at Fanger, and he got just that, probably 2 inches too far around, and the car overhead rotated.
What a run! Spicy. Spicy for the first battle of the top 16. We're on the left side of the tree.
Are we only at the top of the?
We're at the start of the top 16. I mean, Fanger just shot in there.
This is a finals battle. Like, this is a battle we would normally
Full
see in
confidence.
the yeah.
Full confidence to fire through there.
Maybe it was the license plate
Now,
on the front.
it's almost like...
I really had a look.
Like you said, did he had a look? But then the question is, did he think that he was going to get cut off? But he's not. He went and committed it. He threw the car deep into the outer line on the outside of the last turn, which is heading across towards the finish line. So
I think Sean's just wound it so far to lock it. Yeah, see, you can almost see the head. Let's have a look. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Does he have a look? Does he have a look? Does he have a look?
No.
No, he didn't. I thought
he didn't look. He actually just...
It's almost like he knew
he
it was
got
going.
wrong.
Yeah.
Perhaps another example of the second run tyre ding.
We did talk about this yesterday. Yes, we worked out that it's about 1.85 laps to a set of tyres once you get over that 850 horsepower mark.
Mate, that's a fantastic start to the season for you.
Yeah, felt really good in the car yesterday, P1, and just straight into it. And Sean, we've met quite a few times in round one, and normally it's at the final end. So I knew it was going to be a pretty tough battle, and we had to push it hard. I actually come in to that final turn in the chase position. The car went down into limp mode, and I didn't have a lot of grunt to get around it, but managed to keep it together. And the lead run, we just gave it everything.
Wicked, bro. Well, we'll turn you around and we'll see you back out there. Sean, mate. It's something about you and Fanger in battles, eh?
Oh, it was a good battle. Just, ran out of tyre. That's, I guess, the game we're playing this year, the controlled tyres. So, big change going from Valinos to these Ignovas. So, hard to do 2 laps. Well, 2 good ones anyway.
Well, that's right, mate. We've got tomorrow, so we'll see you back out there again.
Yeah, hard out, 100%. Thanks to my sponsors and family and friends, crew. Right. They'd like to make it happen.
Thanks, mate. And we are going to be taking a little break, and when we come back, we'll be starting the top 16 battles. So we'll see you shortly.
Well, that was interesting, Kenny. So Fangadan was down on power, which probably means if he had full power, he probably would have actually contacted Potros, who ran out of tyre.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. I think perhaps just that last little bit of the section, or even perhaps, I mean, he threw it in quite deep on that wide line on the end there, so perhaps even into the marbles a little bit, with a bit of tyre dig as well, spun the car, no grip, and that was all she wrote.
Well, it's going to be a learning, isn't it? Because this is the first time anyone's had to kind of play the game with the 5 control tyres. So you got 5 brands which are authorised for use. Each of them behaves slightly differently. So, they're going to have to kind of learn how to massage, shall we say, some of the tyres through a section.
That's right. It's going to be the first time seeing, as the season carries out, when we look at some of these Pro Championship tandem battles, just how the relationship between tyre versus tyre, I mean, there's a bit of a tyre battle unfolding as we speak.
Do you know what's going to be really, really interesting? Round 4 at Manfield.
Yes.
Because that's a long section. Round 4 at Manfield. Not going to be so bad probably for Mount Smart. I think you'll be all right at Mount Smart. I think you'll be okay at Bay Park unless you're a driver who generates really, really high wheel speed and burns off a lot of rubber. But yeah, Manfield is going to be a real game of playing the game and managing and massaging those tyres through an entire 2 laps. So we've got a bit of a track remark going on at the moment, and that is so the judges can see exactly where the drivers are positioning cars. How many cans of paint have we used?
I'm not too sure.
About 7,000, I think, something like that. Someone's getting a big bill from somewhere.
Well, it's chalk too, by the way.
So it washes off. Biodegradable, because we're environmentally friendly.
Oh, guys, welcome back to Taupo Motorsport Park. We are about to start the top 16, the Pro Championship, and up next we have...
Well, that's fun.
Whoa.
That was fun.
No,
Hi,
it's a
Nick.
commentary.
Are you right there, Nick?
G'day.
He's gone.
G'day, mate.
Oh, hello. Apparently, Kenny, I've just been told that you and I look like father and son sitting here. I'm not sure which way round it is. Clearly, one of us is
we
not-
both have kids.
Yeah,
so
we both have kids.
We're on the dark downhill spiral to grandkids. So
Yeah, I got to send a shout out to Anna and Jordan who are tuned in, along with Sarah who's at home. So I get to do that. And Kenny, you want to shout the kids out too while you're here? mate?
yeah, shout out to Ellie and Theo at home.
All right.
Although I think they might actually be at the track at some
Are
point.
they here?
Yeah, they might even
Oh,
be.
little Ruddle Juniors, awesome. Little mini Kennys.
Yeah, sassy.
Yeah. Kenny and I last commentated together way back in about 2017, 2018. So great to be back here for the new era of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. And we are here at Taupo Motorsport Park. If you have just joined us on our broadcast, we hope you're enjoying the action you're seeing here. We are into the top 16 of the D1NZ Pros. We had 23 cars face the starter. We lost Johnny Latham early on in the piece, so 22 have faced the starter so far. No, we lost Johnny, and we also lost Sam Edinburgh due to an anomaly where he qualified in his teammate's car and then they did an exhibition battle. So under the rules, they have to seed one through to the 16, and that's how that will play out. So we now take a look for the first time at Dave Steadman, constant threat here at Taupo Motorsport Park up against Rody Knowles, stepping into pro this year, and he is sponsored by Amalgamated Roofing. What is that back wing say there?
Get on the door, bro.
Get on the door, bro. Get on the door. Good to have you in pro, Rody. And
it's like over 20 years since he was last in the Pro Championship. So that's how long Rody's been around in the game, in the sport, but also competed in the Pro Sport 235 series, and now he's back in the Pro Championship after a very, very long time.
So we'll hear the big RB spool up under the right foot of Dave Steadman. I think it's a 3.2 with a giant turbo on the side of it. He is getting down to his work nice and early. Rody Knowles, good job out front. Shortcut maybe there from Dave Steadman, trying to put the pressure on Rody, and then transitions early, and then Dave Steadman will try and... Oh, Dave Steadman! He will be frustrated with that.
The car up but not lose the angle. That was a fast run from both of these guys. So
it choked up, didn't it? And then once it got off angle, Dave had to try and get it back out to angle, but it just sent him across the track on that narrow line.
So both of them on line to initiate. There is a bit of leeway for the chase car to shallow up a little bit on certain areas, but yeah, did he shallow too much in the chase?
Oh no, there it is. The wheel's almost the opposite way.
Yeah.
It'll be at least a minor, maybe a major for Dave Steadman in the chase position. And it
so
doesn't...
a couple of deductions there, definitely for Steadman in the chase. What a run from the Amalgamated Roofing S13. This is an RB battle. This is one for the RB fans. Both of them running RB30s. I think the 3.2 stroked RB in the Steadman car in the chase.
Yep. Put together, of course,
Look at that big handbrake drag, just trying to maintain angle.
Was there anything there from Rody that caused that from Dave? Did you see anything?
I don't think so. I think Dave should have shot in there and then tried to reel the car back because he didn't want to hit the lead car. But
yeah, Dave did want me to plug Vehicle Service Centre as well. Loyal sponsor of his, of course, because it's his business that he owns. So support Vehicle Service Centre if you're in the Tauranga area and need your vehicle serviced.
It's also great to have you in the chat room, Dave.
Not Dave Steadman. Dave Steadman's driver. It's a different Dave.
Talking to the live chat audience here. If you want to join the conversation, jump on Oversteer TV and join the live chat with the event.
Yeah, brand new for 2025 as one of our features, and it's great to have fans who are definitely passionate, definitely knowledgeable, joining us and adding your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions as you watch top-level drifting action, as we watch Dave Steadman creating a gap over Rody Knowles here. Rody Knowles has fallen back. Rody Knowles needs to close up, but I wonder if Rody's spotter maybe has said, look, just give Dave some room. Well, don't get trapped in a mistake.
I think Dave was, funny you just say that, because I think Dave's made a big mistake there through the midsection. We'll have to unpack it all in the GT Radial replay. I think he's gone a little bit too shallow.
Okay, so here is the GT Radial replay.
In terms of line. So he's punched it out wide, a small deduction being choosing that line, but Really,
Through
it's
here?
here. It's through here. He's run a wheel over the ripple strip. The lead car, you can't run wheels over the ripple strip. So the judges were very clear on that. So I think there might be some deductions there for Dave Steedman out in the front. But yeah, it was sort of calm and composed through the mid. Hey, there was a wheel off there too, though, for Rody Knowles. Yeah.
So we are looking, just again, if you have just joined us, we are looking at it in a different set of eyes this time. So for the 2025 season, you're looking at a lead for lead, a chase for chase, and then an overall style for the 3 judges. So
I think Dave's got that wrong through the midsection there. He's offline. He took too much out of the inner apex getting into the transition zone. And then you look here, just here. See that front wheel bobble from Rody Knowles?
did it bounce over the inner ripple? Maybe a little bit.
Was that over the line or just on it?
Yeah, look, we'll find out.
We'll leave it up to the professionals.
Yeah, and look, the interesting thing is, regardless of what I guess people feel out there in live stream land, the drivers have been overwhelmingly positive about the judging and the way it's been executed, the feedback that's been given. I actually heard a driver say this morning, look, it was absolutely fantastic because we had the judges come to us this morning and say, hey, you could improve here. And for the pro sport guys, that is incredibly valuable feedback to be given. There are our 3 wise men up there as they observe proceedings from above Taupo Motorsport Park. Kenny and I are in the commentary trailers, so we have no live vision whatsoever. We're only seeing the live stream, the same as you guys, whereas the judges are seeing both live action and their own closed loop replay system, isn't it, Kenny? So they have access to different angles that we don't have.
They've got their own operator who's more minded into what the judges are looking for.
So we are looking at the music indicates a replay. So the music is indicating a replay here. Just the judges taking a look at something.
Both of them running the wheels over that inner curve there, and I think like Brody's got no choice through that midsection really. He just followed him in there. So it's just how harsh of a penalty they're going to give David the lead, and then is this actually a wheel off? Yeah, I reckon that is. I think that is a small penalty there for that chase car bobbing over that inner curbing just to try and close the door on Dave Steedman out in front. The Mimico Hydraulic S14. Both of them filling that zone. Dave not
were they looking
quite
to
it's just like he cut too early. He cut too early coming off that second outer zone.
I just wonder if they were looking to see where Rody ended up on that second zone. Because he was a little bit back and we sort of lost him a little bit in the smoke.
And almost like a bit of a hesitation in line in which, like, am I committing to qualifying line or I'm going to try and get Dave's door?
So we're waiting for an official call here from our judges. That is Justin Patterson that you're looking at on track. Beautiful new build that he's put together after retiring his other car. Waiting for a decision here. Rhodey's out of the car already. He's overheating. Dave Steedman gets the call. Dave Steedman gets the call.
Dave, it looked like the first run had a little moment, but obviously they liked what you did on the second run.
That was pretty rough. Yeah, I thought I might go one more time because I just haven't been myself here, so hopefully I can nail it down in the top 8.
All right, mate, we'll see you back out there.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it, Kenny? A driver being self-critical and just giving that honest feedback.
Brody, it's great to have you in the pros, bro. And look, didn't go your way, but how cool was it to be out there?
Yeah, look, to be honest, to have Dave first up, I mean, he's a quality guy, quality driver, and, to be on the stage here, for the likes of Amalgamated Roofing, Electrical Solutions, Bar Plenty, MTF Finance, Cream Insurance, have my family in the crowd as our home track. This is a pretty special moment for me, and I'm looking forward to what tomorrow brings.
Mate, can't wait to see you back out there again tomorrow. Thanks, mate.
Nice work there, Rhodey, just reeling the sponsors off the top of his head.
I think Dave will be a little bit disappointed with some of the mistakes that he made during his lead run, but of course the finer points come back to it. Perhaps Rhodey was a little bit more crucified in the chase run there for not committing. There were a couple of line options there opened up to him, but he didn't actually take them. He could have actually followed Dave all the way through that second run.
Again, all of this information is going to be available to the drivers after competition. Look, it's probably, I don't think it'll make it out into the open atmosphere, so to speak, in terms of how feedback is given, but the judges are going to be able to talk to the drivers lead for lead, chase for chase, and say, hey, look, this is how we called it, the way we called it, and this is why. And
so we're swapping back to the last battle in the top 32. So this is for the last spot in the top 16. Ben Odgers, Justin Patterson, our first OMT. But what I just heard from pit lane, Ben Odgers called his mechanical 5 minutes to change the gear ratio. So he's changed probably changed the gear set in the rear differential, and that's probably going to give him a better drive because he's lost third gear.
So he has lost third again?
Well, he'll still be driving on that same gear set. So I'd say they've got to change the ratio to try and make this car a bit more competitive in the OMT.
It doesn't look settled though. It looks like it is struggling. Well, yeah, I think he's up a gear. Yeah, he must be up a gear.
They've either lengthened second, but probably better to shorten fourth. So it'll be interesting to know what they actually did in the pits there to make the car a bit more drivable. But not having third gear, it's a track like this, not the best.
No, it's making it a real handful. You can see it in the car's body language and behaviour, and you see kind of as he dumps it again, it just increases that wheel speed so massively, and it hazes out the track. You'll see it as he comes into the final zone around the final corner here, then he kind of just gives it a big old boot, and it'll just
What
start.
a run from Justin Patterson to get right up into the pocket. He saw the opportunity and he took it and he ran with it. Well done to Justin Patterson in the chase.
So the challenge for Ben Hodges is going to be actually getting and maintaining that proximity. So my understanding of the rules set for this year is that this is the only OMT that can happen. It can only happen once, and we have to have a result from this, correct?
Yes. And it's been that way for a long time. So sudden death, the judges will have to make a decision out of this.
Good, because we don't want to just keep going and going and going with OMTs. We'd be here forever sometimes with how close some of these battles are.
How good, though. Two pro-level S15s battling it out there, S-Chassis fans. Getting the live chat on Oversteer TV. A big shout out to everyone tuned in on Sky TV around New Zealand as well as in Australia and the islands on Pacific TV, Fox Sports and Kaio. Big thank you to everyone tuning in on the live stream at Oversteer TV for the first time around the world, international stream online.
Right, what happens here?
Well, here's the start. Did he actually change up the ratios? What gear is he actually going to be in? It's certainly a lot better.
He's a lot closer than he was. It's just going to be when it falls off power, is he going to have sufficient revs and speed to be able to hang with Justin Patterson? He's going to fight that car now as it comes down and then up the hill. Here is Ben Hodges surging back up onto him.
Ben Hodges goes to return the serve on Justin Patterson's last run.
Very good from Ben Hodges. Considering he's fighting a wounded car, he is pumped. There's that hand out the window we talked about, Kenny. He is ecstatic with that run there. When the hand comes out the window, you know a driver feels it's been solid. Which way are you leaning?
Well,
we had an OMT.
It's an OMT, but now it's closer than ever compared to the first time round. So Justin Patterson on that line really fit. It's going to come down to the finer little intricacies in terms of who actually made little corrections when and where.
I'm almost, if it's me calling, I'm almost leaning towards Hodges.
Well, JP through that midsection, really almost just backing it in through the midsection almost, you know. But how much angle is too much angle before you throw yourself offline, you know? Ben Hodges doing a great job to he's like a magnet, sticking to that rear quarter and not afraid of being in the chase zone, in that smoke. And did Ben do a better job of filling that transition zone through the midsection? Is that the difference in car speed for Justin Patterson in the lead? Did he actually gain a little bit of a gap through that midsection because he actually wasn't online? It's a little bit difficult to see from that camera angle that we had through the midsection, so the drone would be the more telling shot.
Yeah, we are getting a decision too off this battle because there is only the single OMT available. Justin Patterson's out of the car, Ben Hodges out of the car as well, just giving a little stretch. Wouldn't surprise me to... Oh no, we've got we're getting a result here. So what happens basically, if you haven't seen it before, you can see the little devices on the desk there. The only options available to a judge are A, B or O. So you can only hit A, B or O, regardless of how you score things, whether you score them out of 10 or out of 100 or out of 1,000,000. You can only go A, B or OMT, and whatever is the majority decision is the way that the result falls. And we know that O is off the table this time, Kenny, so it's got to be A or B. Are we looking again? Are they looking at something again? Are they they're on the closed loop replay, aren't they?
So they'll be looking at another replay of that last run, and it'll probably be the drone.
Which we don't always get that, do we? Drifter sign language going on in the pits here between Justin Patterson and Ben Hodges.
Still watching replays. They have to get a decision on it one more time now.
So again, if you have just joined the broadcast, different system for 2025. One judge watches lead, one watches chase, and the other watches style, which is both drivers, and that gives us an A, B, or OMT. We are in an OMT at the moment, so there has to be a result off this battle. Why not let Livestream Land tell us what you think? Let us know whether you think Benny Odgers got that one or whether you think it is JP Justin Patterson. If you are an Oversteer TV subscriber, then you can add your comments to the live chat box.
So that aggression from Justin Patterson might just be the difference there. Let's have another look.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to balance that out.
You know, was it too much of a handbrake for JP?
Well, Justin Patterson's aggressive. I don't think Ben's any less aggressive. He's just hampered by a wounded car, right? So, yeah, I genuinely don't know how you balance that out. That's why you and I are sitting here talking and the judges are up there.
Super interesting decision, though. If they called their mechanical 5 that early in the comp to change the gear ratio.
Well, he's got nothing else left. If for any reason.
Well, the diff ratio, sorry.
If Ben does go forward, then yeah, he doesn't have a comp timeout left. JP still does. Boys looking bemused there, waiting for the call to be made.
Pretty tight battle.
Ben's heart's beating pretty hard, a little bit faster than normal. What's that? Like, there's probably 180 BPM in Australian beats per minute. Their currency's worth more, right? So their heart rate's got to be higher. JP looks calm there.
Who do we think got the victory for that one? Is it Justin Patterson or the international Australian?
Should we just let them fight? We could just let them fight in pit lane. They could arm wrestle maybe. Maybe play rock, paper, scissors, boys, while we're waiting for a decision. Go rock, paper, scissors and see what happens. Do we have a winner?
Who will take the victory here and get that last spot in the 16?
We have a call. It is Ben Odgers going through, and I believe we are going to go to our judges if possible to get an explanation there, because a lot of you saying that you think it's a one more time. Kenny and I couldn't really decide there. You were sort of on the fence.
Well, it already was a one more time, so yeah. It went sudden death. That was the sudden death matchup. So we'll chat to one of the judges in the box to get some clarification, because that was a super tight battle.
Yeah, so welcome to the judging seat for me, eh? We're in the, what are we still in? That's a top 32 battle, right?
Yeah, last top 32 battle.
I'm sweating up in this box here, and for it to come back on me, I said it in driver's briefing, and I said to these guys, I know car control, obviously, I've mentioned, and I'll keep using these words because they're the words that I know to explain it for me. The car control, I look at throttle input, and I look at also the steering input, and the application of both. It was very, very close, and it was hard to not. Well, I didn't have the option to push one more time, and I hate one more times, and that was a one more time already, so it's sudden death. It came down to the fact that on that final corner for me, from a style perspective, that they both fell out of proximity through the what we call the dipper, down through the bottom to outer zone 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But then Justin fell out of the pocket as he took they both took dives at each other to close that proximity right up on the final turn. Justin, in the replays, I got to have a look at it, and he fell out of the pocket just a little bit, and that's enough. That's how close it is.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was just that. He took too much of a stab on the handbrake to get there as well, so I felt like that was probably more of a penalty.
Yeah, it's quite simply, I hate that it came down to me, and Ben, I've only met him over the weekend, and he's such a good driver, such a good guy. And Justin, I know him as well. I just love how far he's come. I love his car and how he's going. It's actually almost heartbreaking to make that decision.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we wanted to see close battling, and we'd certainly got it.
Man, I didn't think already in the top 32 that's where we're going to be at. So just quickly, at least while this is all happening, guys, how comfy are these seats? Like you've got them same ones down there, I think, don't you? So.
Well, on that note, we'll rip into the next battle. We're in the same seats too, aren't we? We're in the race bucket seats, sucking us in.
Yeah, thanks to NZKW.
Sucking us in and holding us in for the edge of your seat action.
Suitable for the 100 kg human being. All right, Mr. Fink, I believe. Who is this? Jeff Jones. Adam Davies, Luke Fink.
It is Adam Davies and Luke Fink. Adam Davies in the 20B Mimico Hydrolink machine out front, and Mr. Fink all the way from Australia with a...
look at the dive here from Luke Fink trying to lurk. He's getting up on the door. Can he carry it right through? Adam Davies leading out in the 20B V8 Verse Rotor.
One thing I know for sure is that Fink's Army will be online in your chat box, and they will be supporting Luke as much as they possibly can from Australia or pretty much anywhere in the world, because he is a man with a strong online presence. And it's great to have him here in New Zealand, thanks to JDM Racing.
Look at how Luke Fink was able to just claw back track position and really line himself up for that really spectacular chase run at the end of the section. You see them both cross the finish line just at the end of the ripple strip on the outside. Look, let's check this out from GT Radio Replay on the drone. Both of them not quite out to those outer zones, but look at that. See that little...
Was there a wheel off?
Well,
in the green.
There's a... That's the question I'm asking.
Yeah.
Is he running it too much in the green? He's allowed to use the ripple in the chase, but was he up on the green? And how lenient are the judges, or how harsh are the judges going to be? Because as we saw in qualifying, it was absolutely brutal.
Well, I mean, Luke being the driver that he is, if he knows he's made a potential mistake that there is a deduction, I think he would just go 110% in the lead, right? And just go, right, come with me.
Yeah.
You try and chase me and hang with me, and I'll just make it so that my lead run is as close to 100 as it can possibly be. And if you can't go with me, then maybe your lead run was a 95, but mine was 100. It'll be that simple, right? Under the new setup, that is why we're not seeing the OMTs as much as we have in past. It's lead for lead, chase for chase, and an overall style, and that gives us a result. And there is Mr. Fink. He's on that same line,
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's been running that line all weekend, and I feel like it just sets him up better for the transition with his car setup, his driving style. Oh, check this out from Adam Davies. Lots of handbrake to keep the car settled, but he might have just let it get away too much for him on the second half of the outer line. And, let's unpack that one.
I wonder if he thought Luke was going to maybe just slow up a little bit with the angle. Yeah. And he just...
A little bit of dissection here in the GT Radio Replay.
What I know
Adam Davies taking the opportunity at the start to get up on the door as the chase car. He's allowed to sacrifice a little bit of that lead line.
We know that car's got a massive turbo on it, right? So if you kind of almost let it fall off boost a little bit.
How was that transition?
Yeah, that's a long drag though, isn't it?
And then here it is.
Right,
yeah, here's the even. Yeah,
fell off, and then you see the wheel.
It's almost
like
like
kicked back.
He even did another one. If he'd not used the handbrake the second and third times,
yeah. So if
it could be the difference.
So if you go off what Tony kind of just said, right, about smooth and flowing and controlled, then it probably is almost that 2 to 3 bites at the cherry there. Luke was smooth doing what he did in the first one, but just
look at the nose of the car pitching
drag,
down.
Drag,
it just shows how much pace he was carrying in there off that transition. It was so close. But that's part of the game, right? Is trying to catch carrying so much momentum, which is what the judges were asking for. Full throttle commitment, full momentum heading into that second to last outer zone, and just really fire the car in there. And I think that's what Adam Davies is trying to do.
I mean, love him or hate him, right? Love him or hate him. Luke Fink is a guy who just loves sharing his drift culture. I have yet to not see him just go and congratulate his fellow competitor afterwards and just say, hey, that was sick, or that was good, or like, I respect you for that.
Mean, that's what it's about, though, right? Like it's about the lead and chase. It's about getting on the door, and it's about being out there and just having some fun. And as much as it can get quite heated and competitive, ultimately, if you're not having fun, then it's not a good day in the office.
Look, the man understands how to build a global brand, right? Like Luke Fink exists as Luke Fink because he understands what he's doing. He sticks with what his convictions are, and he is unapologetically Luke Fink, and it's cool to have him here, and it's cool to have him going to FD, and love him or hate him, you got to respect what he does.
So we wait the result
it's
from
probably
the judges.
It's probably because Tony Gallagher's up there going, how do I make the rotary win? Something like that. Anyway, we kid. I shouldn't say things like that because some of you will take me quite literally when I say that. But anyway, let us know what you think out there in live stream land. Who gets the win there? Is it Mr. Fink? Is it Adam Davies? Rotary versus is it the turbocharge or the supercharge? Which one's Jeff?
So he's got I think he's got the Magnuson.
So the supercharger. So Jeff's got the turbocharge and he's got the. Yeah, we haven't seen Jeff yet. So
yeah, Jeff in the 180. So Jeff Jones from Formula Drift, based out of Sun Valley, California.
Right. Mr. West, Sam West, and young Connor Halligan from Taupo, local track here. Connor Halligan, a lot of friends and family here. He's had a rough day, hasn't he? That car just hasn't wanted to do what he has wanted it to do. He said he's been fighting it, but he is still here. He is in the 16, and he is up against Sam West from the team RHP. Sam West, did he start out really wide here, or was that just the camera angle? There is Connor Halligan, emerges through the space. The same thing for Halligan again. He's had to fight that front end again. It just wants to straighten up on him. Connor Halligan with a new build of a car, and he hasn't done a lot of testing. And that is really showing as that smoke just blankets the track there. And they close out through the end of the section there. Connor Halligan, Sam West staying on the loud pedal.
I'm a little bit miffed why that battle was released without getting a result. So,
well, maybe they're still deliberating.
Is this?
Maybe there was an overheating problem on the line. What's going on?
It's the one more time.
So we thought we weren't going to see this, but as we go to pro, we're going to go to a one more time. So I would suggest that both of those cars being in the upper power bands will be going for new tyres, so we won't see them again straight away.
All right, so Adam Davies, Luke Fink, one more time was the result. They'd obviously, for some reason there was a miscommunication here because they'd released the cars. So we've got another battle here to dissect, Warren, and I think Connor Halligan's still struggling with the front end in that car.
Yeah, where did we sort of our vision went a bit funny there because
we might have to go to the
maybe
drone.
judges. Yeah, we might have to wait and see what the judges saw there because that was what I was talking about earlier in terms of that vision threw me off in terms of it looked like it was a different line from Sam West, but it's really hard to tell whether it is. It's one of the things with the live stream call because you try and give your viewers variety, you can get a different perspective from time to time on where someone is on the track. And as you rightly point out, Kenya, we do know that the judges have been going to the drone a lot, because it gives the cleanest view of where exactly the cars have been positioned on the track as they switch over the 919 of Connor Halligan and the Sam West machine sponsored by RHP, Reed and Harrison, and Garage H. Looks like some Zestino rubber on Sam West's car, and is Connor Halligan on the Domino?
Yeah, I think he's
Domino
with
Tyre
the
Supply,
Domino Tyre Supply, Zek Novas.
Control tyres for this season, 5 approved brands. We've got the GT Radial, we've got the Zek Nova, we've got the Triace, we've got the Good Ride, and what's the fifth one?
Zestino.
Zestino, right. There are the judges.
I think all the RHP boys running the Zestino. I think.
Link ECU start zone with the one and only Launch Master Willie out there overseeing proceedings.
He certainly had a big summer of drift battles. Of course, he was launch master at the MSC Drift Challenge as well. You can catch up on all the MSC Challenge action, which is another 235 series, based out of Meremere in the south of Auckland there, which is a great drift park put together by the guys at Drift Academy with Sky Zhao, who also used to compete in the Pro Championship, which is underway right now here at Taupo Motorsport Park. It is round 1 of the 2025 season.
And it is Connor Halligan leading away with Sam West in the chase position here. Let's see what happens as Connor Halligan tries to initiate into the section, gets in there nicely on 1, gets out to number 2. That's where Connor Halligan's had that. He's got it sorted this time. Just that little bit faster. I think the car's a little bit more settled. He's got it dialed this time, Connor Halligan.
He was a bit conservative on angle through the first half of the section. He's dialed a bit more onto it through these last scoring zones. So I'm wondering if that was trying to achieve a bit more car pace out of it, or whether he was still actually struggling with the front end of it. It just didn't want to fight it too much.
What's interesting with a driver like Sam West too, you expect him to be very close on the chase because he's very aggressive. So the fact that Connor was able to create that gap without seeing anything there in terms of shortcutting, I think Connor did dial up the pace there a little bit, maybe, and Sam was caught out a little bit unawares in terms of Connor's car. Just sort of, he got on it there, and then he just started to stretch the legs there, and he's driven away. That was where we saw the waiver on the first chase from Connor Halligan. There is that zone where we saw another one there the second time around, but it's just not there on the lead run.
Yeah. Chase car didn't take the opportunity either to shallow up a little bit more. He actually definitely went wide and deep through that midsection. So we'll take another look through here. Watch the chase car as he comes through here. Full send. So he tried to just push it out wide, but I feel like that cost him a little bit. He could have dialed it in a little bit. he could have closed up his line a little bit and just gained a little bit more proximity.
Let's see how the judges call this one. Looks like they have made a call. Nick's excited down there. Nick's enjoying himself, isn't he? He's having a good time down there in pit lane. It is Mr. West who gets the call. Sam West goes through.
There we go, boy.
Oh, I just love driving with Connor. He's a good mate, and first time we've driven together with no contact, so that was a bit nice. But he's been having car dramas, and so it was good to get a lap with him, and I'm stoked.
Oh, it's great to see the teammates out there doing it, boy.
Yeah, surely. On to the next
you're
one,
back
mate.
into the 16, 8 now.
8 now.
Oh, let's
Who we
go.
got? Who we got?
Find out. Connor, mate, that's really cool to be able to battle your teammate like that, eh?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always fun battling Sam. Like he said, I think it's the first time we haven't actually hit each other, so that's pretty funny. We're off to a good start, to be honest, for the season.
Yeah, so you got some gremlins to iron out overnight, but you'll be back again tomorrow?
Yeah, we got some stuff to sort out for sure. It's been battling all weekend so far. Unfortunately, new car. Yeah.
What I would say is it's on when it's on with you, eh?
Yeah. Like it's got a lot of potential. We just need to get it right. But yeah, we'll work on it overnight.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, so Connor obviously struggling with the front end of that car, or something just not quite sitting right for him, because the last couple of laps were just a little bit of a struggle. Sam West moving through into the top 8. He will line up against whoever wins out of the Adam Davies Luke Fink OMT.
Right, and is this Mr. McManaway up against Adam Whitehead, who we saw yesterday? Phenomenal qualifying effort from Hawke's Bay lad Adam Whitehead. HBFKNA is all day apparently from the Adam Whitehead camp. Oh no, Adam Whitehead.
I think he just jinxed it.
That was 100% me.
He's going to have to try recover something out of this. Was that 2 wheels off for Adam Whitehead out of the lead? He's uncomfortable now in the lead, and you've got the JDM R32 on the hunt in the chase there of James McManaway.
Oh no, McManaway straightened up. I reckon if it's two off, then we're almost 0-0.
It could be 0-0 for the both of them. We'll have a look at the GT Radio replay. James McManaway qualified in P15. He's
There it is, Kenny. Let's have a look.
Won the battle over his teammate, Jeremy Slammon. Adam Whitehead yesterday, P2 in qualifying on debut in the Pro Championship. But yeah, he's dropped a wheel. And he struggled. The car was upset. And we talked about this in briefing too. Some of the little ruts and trenches on the drop-off of the curbing now are so deep.
Watch this. There it is. McManaway's
so he's actually
locked
tagged
up.
him.
Yeah, locked up. So I think if I look at that, based on what the judges said, I think that's 2 wheels off because the inner wheel was on the green, right? And the green is out.
Here it is here.
Yeah. So here it is. Green is out. So there's 1 wheel in the dirt, and there he is on the green. Yeah. So that's 2 wheels off.
So it's definitely a major deduction there for Adam Whitehead in the lead. So it opens the door right now for the JDM 32 to get up on the door. He's going to have a little bit of advantage coming his way, but we've still got to finish the run.
Yeah, but James is James. He doesn't lift. He doesn't care. He wants to put on a show, right? So the boss man from JDM stays in it, stays in the gas. He comes back at him aggressively, winds on the lock, and then something happens here. Oh, no, Adam's checked up.
Yeah, and he's tagged him there, so...
But I think Adam checked up before. I actually think that's almost James getting out of that to avoid the contact. I'm sure if you watch that back again, you'll see Adam Whitehead has choked up in the lead position, and that's what's caused that chase bulk. James has got nowhere left to go, right? We saw that last year with Luke Fink when he fired off the track.
Yeah. Big disadvantage too, not having 2 wheels straight off the bat out of the entry. So let's take a look at the second run now.
Run a wheel off the inside there, I think. So it'll probably feel like we're being a little bit harsh now, but sort of... Adam
Whitehead, sorry. He's trying to return the serve back, put some pressure back on the JDM 32.
That's red mist driving, right? Like that is... I qualified second.
Yeah.
I got it wrong, and I want to redeem it, but I don't know that it's going to be quite enough in that chase. So you put on a show.
Win it or bin it.
Yeah, but and that's literally a couple of centimeters away from
he struggled a little bit on the transition there. He's danced with the green with that wheel for the chase car. So
were you allowed to run a wheel off the inside there?
I'm not sure about the green. You can run it on the ripple, but then the green was always been talked about as being a small penalty. So yeah, look at the wheels too, front wheels. How straight was he to have another stab at trying to get some angle on the pocket through this last outer zone? just there, wavered on angle. He didn't quite maintain the momentum he needed, and then you'll see the car bouncing across into the green stripe.
Yes, it's just one of those what could have been. Strong qualifying result. You come out here, you want to put on a show for your friends and family.
What an attack though at the end.
Yeah.
Gets right up on the JDM door. The Pertec S14. Now I believe it's RB versus RB, or is he? No, he's running the JZ under the package now for Adam Whitehead, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 700 horsepower. It's either a 1.5 or a 2 JZ. I'm not 100% sure. There is James out of the car again. Clearly, there's no air conditioning in the barn find R32. Needs to cool down a little bit. And there's Adam. Facial will probably say it all. Yeah, that's a frustrated man.
Adam
great
Whitehead, of course, running the GT radial tyre with the 2JZ engine package. New sponsorship signed with Pertec.
There it is. James McManaway gets the call, and it'll be.
The barn find's working, mate.
Mate, we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing, and we're not doing anything.
It looked like you had a lock-up on your first run.
I had a lot of issues going on, I think. I left the talent in the pit, so I'm just going to go back and try and pick it up, load it in the car and come back out for the next round.
And Adam, mate, you said it all you could out there, but you just pushed it a little bit far, eh?
Yeah, that was it, eh? I just pushed it a little bit too far, dropped the dirt, and I knew instantly, I was like, oh man, the lead lap's over, so I just put it all on the door on the chase run and gave James
I thought you nearly hit him there, you did.
Yeah, he gave him a little hurry up, but yeah, just had to do as much as I could, but thanks to Pertec and everything, you know.
We'll see you back out there tomorrow, you and...
Oh, 100%, yep, we'll bring it tomorrow.
What a great start, what a great drive from Adam Whitehead, his first time in the Pro Championship. Putting together a new deal with Pertec and a great new livery on the car. Qualified P2 yesterday, his first ever Pro Championship qualifying session, and lands second place. So great drive from the boys, and a bit of fun, of course, a bit of banter from the JDM lads. James McManaway will be stoked with that, though. Bit of line painting happening for the judges. Just getting the line painting done for the judges' boxes, so they can make sure they can keep accurate on the scores. Of course, it is actually it's chalk, so it does rub off, and once you get a bit of rubber out on the track, it starts getting hard to see where the scoring zones actually are. So shout out to Purihi and the track team and the fire safety team for chipping in and helping us out on the track today. Hopefully sitting in the aircon utes out on the infield, because it is hot out there once you start wearing all the fire protection gear. It's time to take a look at the next battle here between Michael Thorley, a former Pro Sport champion, NZ with GT radial strapped to the rears, being hunted down by Kurt Blackie in the RHP V8 powered GT86.
Yeah, we saw Kurt Blackie take an interesting approach to his bypass, where he dropped the wheel off and blew the rear bumper off it, but he's put the car back together now, tucked into the chase position here, putting some pressure on the NZ sponsored machine of Michael Thorley. Michael Thorley with an adjustment there, just going into that last section. Kenny, I wonder if that's checked up the momentum of Kurt Blackie there. I don't think Mike would have really wanted to make that adjustment there. Just as we take a look at the GT radial replay here. Not bad to start with. Gets out to the...
Yeah, not
just
quite
touching.
out to the zone, but in terms of fluidity,
it's flowing.
Maintaining the angle, keeping the drive up, not too many corrections, but not quite filling the line as accurately as we would have liked.
It's
so
here somewhere. See, he sort of has another go at it.
A little bit of a bobble there.
And I think
see
that's
the jerk in the cars as well. So Kurt Blackie did well to actually sit in the smoke there. Sometimes guys will just jump on the left foot or give it a little bit of handbrake, pull them out with the smoke, but he's actually committed to the old rear quarter chase line.
Yeah, Mike Thorley carrying the I Am Hope logo as well on the roof of that car. I Am Hope, a great mental health charity that a lot of causes, a lot of events are now supporting. So it's here.
Look at the front nose of the car bobbing and bouncing as he's he's just trying to like get the nose pitched in and get the line that he wants.
I feel like Kurt probably heard a change in the engine tone there, and he's mimicked it. But it's just that split second, right? That is the. It's kind of that input back into the throttle there that causes that gap to emerge as Thorley closes out the section there. I'll switch around now, and Wolfie, Kurt Blackie's 86, will have the lead. we heard, of course, yesterday from team boss Seaton Daly, who said that everything that's solid and good on the car is stuff that he did, and everything that Kurt touched is perhaps not quite so flash. But it's always nice to have a team boss who's supportive, right? It's not called workplace bullying when it's all voluntary. No such thing in race car garages. Anyway, here we go, back with the switch over now, and Thorley's a long way ahead of Kurt Blackie there just at the start. Kurt Blackie gets on the gas. You're entitled to do that, aren't you?
Yeah, well, he opened up a bit of front split, flapping away there on the front of the 86. Yeah, it was an odd start there for Michael Thorley. It almost looked like he was going to try and get him back, but can he pull something out of it in the chase run here? Is Kurt Blackie sitting down?
That's just
pretty good.
A weird run.
A pretty good smoky lead run, but we'll have to
so Thorley's
go back to the
got
replay.
so far ahead of him here, but then he kind of sits back and waits.
Yeah, he kind of wavered a little bit, but
I think Mike Thorley would have probably wanted to be carrying more speed by that point, because he's kind of sitting there. It's almost like you'll see it tomorrow. We were talking about that standing start thing, right? And having the momentum using the weight shift and the pendulum.
Misjudging car speed and maybe not getting into gear. Maybe he had a little bit of gear trouble.
It's the first round of the season, right? So these guys haven't seen each other driving for a little while. I don't know what Mike and Kurt's history is in terms of battling each other. So maybe just, maybe unfamiliar with each other, maybe unsure of how fast each car is respectively on the new control tyres as well. We know Mike's on the GT. I think we think RHP's on the Zestino. Zestino tyre. Too many Zs. I can't remember which is which. See which way do we think the call goes here, Kenny? Is it Wolfie? Is it Mr. Mama?
I think it's going to come down to that chase run of Thorley's. I mean, yeah, what was he doing off the start? But
well, the judges have been harsh, haven't they, on not having proximity unless there's been something that's caused it. Kurt's out and shaking hands. The fact Kurt's out and shaking hands makes me think Kurt probably thinks he's got the win there. But we'll wait for Nick to make the official call there. Mike hasn't moved. He looks frustrated, doesn't he? Mike looks frustrated. Pensive look from both drivers, Kenny.
The suspense waiting.
I wonder if Nick feels like the New Zealand Idol host. Do you reckon just standing there with an awkward pause, just to see how awkward we can make this? Kurt Blackie gets the call. It is Kurt Blackie and Wolfie going through to the...
Kurt, you put a lot of work into the car in the off-season. It's obviously paid off for you.
Yeah, it's been a pretty big off-season. We've had a couple years of real bad luck with this car. So hopefully my luck's changed.
That's wicked, mate. And end of the 16, obviously we've still got tomorrow as well, so good points on offer for you.
Yeah, for sure. We want to get to that pointy end of the points. So yeah, it's a good start.
Wicked, bro. Thorley, just not your day today, mate.
Nah, it's not the run we wanted for the first round, but the car's feeling good. Just the driver is kind of letting it down.
Tomorrow's another day. You're back out there.
Tomorrow's another day, but yeah, we'll go back to the drawing boards, have a look at the runs, maybe do an oil change with beautiful Valvoline oil. Yeah, no, we'll be good. See you tomorrow.
Wicked. All right, see you tomorrow.
One thing we definitely know is that Michael Thorley has more GT radial tyres, because he bought a whole truck of them down, didn't he? All right, we're into Adam Davies and Luke Fink. I believe this is a one more time, Kenny, so we have to get a decision out of this one. Was there a little puff of dirt just there?
I was hoping that hear a bit more of the throttle use off the entry, but we've got the noise back in our ears as we come on through to the end of the section. The OMT run.
Yeah, so we have to have a decision out of this one, don't we? There can only be A or B. You can't have an O off this one.
And what we also find when you get some of these really close matchups with genuine OMTs like this one, you've got two guys going really, really well.
Now, what was that?
And pushing the limits, yeah. I think the Davies car was pretty much three-wheeling through the entry there, and it almost looked like he had to deal with a bit of a bobble in the front end to try to settle the car a little bit. The JDM car in the chase, trying to be precise and just get right up onto that Rear quarter. Yeah, you see that little bobble there coming on through, and was that a wheel off in the dirt?
Where's the exhaust coming out? I'm not sure where the exhaust is on the car. Maybe it's just the exhaust that blew that out.
Blowing some dirt out of the trench, dug during qualifying.
Yeah, that wasn't there when we arrived the other day. I'm not sure who's got the grass fine for that. Well, I think we know. We've got a list somewhere. But
well, it's a good thing dirt is a plenty, and you just sort of fill the hole in, and you just put some grass seed down, isn't it? So it doesn't really,
doesn't do any real harm.
Does it?
I feel like
we're going to get slapped when we walk out of this commentary box.
But that's all right. That's nothing new. Kenny and I say what we say, and we've got kind of the commentator's indemnity.
I like a bit of home guard.
Yeah. We come from my wife's family and market gardeners, so yeah, we know a little bit about dirt too.
Well, remains to be seen what unfolds in the second pass. They're lined up at the Link ECU start box.
I think the question here is, how does Adam Davies deal with that slightly different line that Luke Fink is taking? Because he really is the only one who's taking that different line. The only other guy really trying it is Brodie Mayer, who we haven't seen yet. They both kind of take that wider approach, which takes you slightly shallower through the second zone, but it seems to be fast and it's working for them. So if it works, then they keep doing it, right? Here we go with Fink in the lead, and he will initiate with a little shift there. See he's not quite. Where did Adam go?
He's walked it off the initiation. Something's happened. He's parked the car. Luke Fink is just flying away. He's trying to catch back up now, look. Diving in into the rear quarter. Working the wheel. You see his hands working the wheel, trying to get up onto the car, but something has gone completely wrong for Adam Davies in the 20B Hydrolink 180 SX. What happened here?
He just disappeared out of our vision, didn't he? He was right there, and then Luke jumps on the gas and just disappears.
He's straightened. He's had a massive. He's opposite.
Yeah.
A reinitiation. Has he just zeroed himself out?
And then just come back at full attack, right? Tried to close right at here, because then he's had to take all the angle out of the car again. He's still generating high wheel speed, but he's taken the angle out of the car to try and close up. As you pointed out before, Kenny, you called it zeroing in onto that rear quarter, that big dive that we used to see here a lot. You'll see it here, like he kind of takes the angle out of the car, right, to try and just rock it back up onto the, there it is, disappears out of shot, just the way that car's heading across the track. Even though I think that the drone is amplifying it, because the drone's heading across as well the other way.
But you just staring at the front wheels, we can see the front wheels just completely in the opposite direction.
And the fact that we're onto an OMT means there has to be a decision, and that's
well, I think Adam Davies has just made it easy for them. So
yeah, that's the big movement, isn't it? The big outstanding error that you would perhaps identify as the one that sticks out in the mind. There is Luke out of the car again.
Yeah, overheating.
It's quite a very different looking race suit that Luke. It's like a top zip one. I don't think I've ever seen one of those before. So there's Luke again. He's shaking hands and kissing babies. Fink's army.
Luke through the top 8 now. Good battle.
It was pretty much Le Mans 24 hour there. It was an endurance race. Like you could hear me around that last corner just kicking the guts out of the thing, trying to get it to go. Basically, it gets to a certain temp. Old chicken pulls the timing and everything out, so I lose I don't know how much power, and then he just told me then he went down a couple of cylinders. So yeah, it's all basically chicken's fault.
Pretty much. Adam, mate, it looked like you had a moment there at the start of the lead. What went down?
Oh, it fell out of boost and it goes onto 2 rotors, and so I had no power there to give it a big clutch dump and to get it back on power, and just by that, Luke's already gone. He's there, so annoying. But anyway, I could have had him.
Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, it's right.
3 for 3. 3 for 3 next time.
There's that rivalry we were talking about, Kenny. Luke Fink just not afraid to get the old wooden spoon out there. Just give you a little reminder, hey, I'm 3 from 3 against you.
That explains it then. So he lost a rotor, not a cylinder. He lost a rotor. He was down on power, and he just couldn't get it in. He couldn't get the thing stuck in there. So Adam Davies knocked out Luke Fink through to the top 8.
Kenny, look at this. We talked about this earlier yesterday. Brodie Mayer is so fast off the line, 1,000 horsepower at his disposal, 2.4 litre SE R20 Nissan motor, 45 pounds of boost, and he is throwing the gauntlet straight away at the VIP Trusses entry, and he is just gapping, he is smoking, he is blazing out those tyres. The Drift League boss from Tasmania is here to prove a point. He didn't like what happened last time he was here, and Brodie Mayer is that 2.4 just singing, and the man from the South Island had no answer.
2.4 stroked SR20. The SR Plenty, he's called it.
Yes. Everything on this car is spanned or engineered by Brodie and his mates in Tasmania. They know the car top to bottom. He is the man behind the Drift League in Tasmania, who have been doing pretty cool things with their series over there, another strong regional series. And he is just hazing and hissing tyres, isn't he? He's a guy as well who I think is going to have to be careful around that tyre longevity, because he's going to have some problems once he comes up against another similar opponent, probably deeper in the field, where maybe that grip will be gone by that second lap. Not a problem for now, not a problem for now
So
on the lead.
Yeah, Dan Caldwell having all sorts of trouble in the chase. Yeah, I think he's put 1 or 2 wheels off. A big dirt drop as well, so he'll be well over the green line, which is a big deduction once you're in the dirt.
You can't even see the rear of Brodie's car. It just disappears.
I mean, so much aggression. I mean, Brodie's just been driving out of his skin, and he's certainly got the car underneath him to do it as well. So what a machine, the Drift League S13 based out of Tasmania.
Yeah, he didn't like the fact that last time he was here, he wasn't allowed to do backy entries on that corner, right? So
Well,
he's quite frustrated by
traditionally
that.
speaking, if you can do a backy and pull it off cleanly, all right, but it's very hard to do in the battles because you run the risk of throwing the chase car off, and then you get into all sorts of trouble with the judges.
So Daniel Caldwell now for VIP Freeman Truss will have the lead, and Brodie Mayer will have the chase. And I don't think Brodie Mayer will have too many problems keeping up here. His question is always, can he dial it back enough not to drill straight into the door?
Exactly. You run the risk of, you run the risk of actually locking yourself out of putting down a chase run because you're going to be too far stuck up a car that might be a little bit more slower than you.
Like that.
Oh,
so
that would have been
there.
so close.
Is Brodie going to sit too? No, I think he's managed to pull it back onto the right angle.
Oh,
no, Brodie Mayer's got lost.
Massive correction trying to get back into the line.
He's going to go off the track.
He's going to
go off the track. Brodie Mayer's going to zero out.
But the lead car's gone off too. He's actually zeroed himself out though. I think he's actually fallen off line before that point. Never mind what the lead car was zeroing out on. The chase car had an opportunity to claw something back, but I think he straight lined. I think he had a massive correction, and it's going to come down to that first pass. They might have just zeroed each other out, both zeroed themselves out.
So you reckon this off here, is it? No?
Not here. It's into the transition coming out of the smoke for Brodie.
Brodie's
Look at
straight,
that.
yeah.
Look at that. Straight.
No, it's gone the opposite way.
Opposite way. Front of the nose is down. He's on the picks. He's grabbed the brake, and now he's trying to reinitiate. So I think they've both zeroed the second run because Daniel Caldwell is way out into the cones, and they were very clear about if you hit those cones at the end, we know how far you are off the track.
And the reason that rule exists is because if you do that at Mount Smart or at Bay Park, you're actually in a concrete wall and you are writing your car off.
The transition. I mean, that was exactly to a T how we predicted it from the entry.
Yeah.
You and I both predicted how this was going to go, and that's exactly what happened to Brodie.
Yeah, it's a bizarre run, but it's not unexpected. So,
well, I mean, what a heater though by Brodie in the lead.
Jekyll and Hyde, right? Just classic Jekyll and Hyde kind of run. There is our silverware that I'll be presenting this afternoon as I fill in as lead host for Mr. McIver while he's away on other duties. And I think the call has been made there, Brodie. I think.
Brodie, that was just, wow. What can I say, mate?
It's not how we wanted to start our first D1NZ battle. Glad to get the win by the skin, I'm sure of it. But yeah, we decided to go on some scrub tyres for that one, and it made the chase, a little bit unpredictable. But I think he cut down a little bit in turn 3, and then I was in kind of a bit of an awkward position. And it made it really hard to chase through there, but I also didn't have all the speed in the car to catch
Hopefully we don't see any more straight lines today, mate, but we'll see you back out there, eh?
Cheers. Thanks, brother.
So interesting that he'd had pre-scrubbed tyres for that battle.
Dan, that was a tough battle there, bro. You guys were door to door, but it was not really, didn't come out the way we wanted it to.
No, he was just got me on the, just get me at the start sort of thing, threw everything at it, and slipped off the track and sort of put me behind the 8 ball. So yeah, done me to catch up, but just couldn't get there in the end. But yeah, take me out after him. He's a pretty good, awesome driver, sort of thing, and done my best. And well, that's drifting, isn't it?
Well, tomorrow's another day. With any luck, you will have hopefully be on the opposite side to the battle tree to your teammate at least, eh?
Absolutely, yeah. I know. Looking forward to batting our Sam again, sort of thing. Yeah, should be good.
Daniel Caldwell, the VIP drift team, based out of the South Island, his debut season in the Pro Championship. Good to see some of these guys bringing back a bit of the mustache action.
Well, I was just going to say, I would love to know how between his promotional photo taken on Friday and today, he grew that mustache. Because I can't grow that in a week. But in a day, that man has got like a full slug on his top lip.
Okay, well, we've got a big international battle about to unfold right in front of us. Who have we got, Warren?
Yeah, how cool is this for D1NZ? Jeff Jones out of California against Ben Odgers from Australia, the man behind Drift Japan Tours. Jeff Jones spinning wheels this weekend for the JDM racing team. He is behind the wheel of the 1,000 horsepower turbocharged LS 180SX, and Benny Odgers in his 2JZ S15. Let's see how this shakes out, Kenny. The first time we saw Odgers, he was in the lead first, so this is going to be a real challenge for him, trying to catch up with Jeff Jones, who, despite not having a lot of laps in a right-hand drive car, has been pretty fast this weekend and settled in really quickly, just showing how good a talent he is behind the wheel. Ben Odgers doing a good job here, trying to hang. Oh, is he going to hit him? No! Surge right up onto Jeff Jones's car. Jeff Jones stays in it. Jeff Jones has given Ben Odgers that opportunity there with a great lead run, and Benny Odgers delivers in chase.
You just saw the throttle application from Jeff Jones out in the lead. Now, I was just sort of thinking about yesterday too, when he had that issue, being on the right-hand side car for the first time, and he went to grab the handbrake instead of the gear shifter instead of the handbrake. So
he clicked fifth, didn't he? I think he clicked it into fifth at one point. He said it wasn't, it wasn't quite what he thought was going to happen.
So here's that attack from Ben Odgers.
I'd love to know from the JDM team, given these are effectively teammates for the weekend, what did they do to Odgers' car in between? Obviously, we talked about the fact that they had engineered the diff ratio on the last battle. I wonder what other changes they've made to Ben's car, just because it did look more drivable that run. Didn't bulk at the start like we saw the first time round. So Ben Odgers has obviously found something that settled it.
Perhaps it was the best thing to do was take that competition 5. It means if you keep progressing, you can't use it again in the competition, but maybe calling it early to take that opportunity to change the diff ratio has really helped the situation with losing third gear. Be interesting to know what he's running the section in, whether it's just shortened up fourth a little bit and just send it and run it in that.
I'm sure somebody who is here and subscribed to Oversteer TV will let us know in the chat box. So if you're part of the JDM team and you know what's gone on with Ben's car, that would be great to know. But equally, you might not tell us, because then your opponents will also know what is going on, and that enables obviously that strategy to come to the fore. We'll see the switch over now with Odgers to take the lead and Jeff Jones to have the chase. And we are slowly locking in our top 8. We've got Daniel Wilhouse and Dave Steedman locked in, Luke Fink and Sam West, James McManaway, Kurt Blackie, Brody Mayer, and the winner of this battle. So interestingly enough, depending on how Jeff and Ben play out, they might be racing the boss as well, because they're in the same bracket. Jeff Jones, Jeff Jones sweeps it wide.
He's managed to catch it back.
Oh, but
now
there's a waiver.
There's a waiver from the lead car as well, so that's what it's all about. The battle really unfolding here. You want tandem pro action, drift action here in New Zealand. You've got an Australian and an American battling door to door here at Taupo Motorsport Park.
Oh, let's hear a crowd. If you're here at Taupo Motorsport Park, show some love for Benny Odgers and Jeff Jones, two great international talents, thanks to JDM throwing down here. And Kenny, a couple of untidy things there just to unpack as we look at this run again.
Yeah, Jeff was thereabouts. Look at him, look at the commitment from. But then here, he's decided to change his line. But then there was a waiver as well. So I just wonder if, because Jeff had blown out, the lead car was on his own line doing his own thing, so then he's sort of recapitalised towards the end of the section to get back in the pocket for Jeff Jones. But yeah, I mean,
Jeff's flattened out and then had another couple of goes at it just to try and create that proximity.
What's happened just here? He's just committed to a slightly wider approach. I mean, because there is an outside zone back there, but he was late, so.
But then Odgers is kind of washed
balancing.
the front.
It's balancing. It's a balancing act, isn't it? Like, it's like, okay, the lead car's not quite where it should be, but where do I need to be?
So the interesting thing there is that Jeff Jones hasn't taken any steering input out of the car there. He is checking up as he kind of just feeds it back into it to try and create that proximity, but he hasn't. A couple of the other cars we saw take the lock out of it, right, and almost straighten up. So interesting to see how this goes. Jeff Jones and Benny Hodges jump out of the cars, obviously overheating there. Ben looks pretty happy. Jeff looks pretty happy. Man love moment there on the pit lane. Little hug. Hey crowd who are here, can we hear it for Jeff Jones all the way from Australia, from the United States, and Benny Hodges as well. Great to have them here. I do hope that Jeff's got some sunscreen on underneath that hat.
Well, he normally has his cowboy hat, so the wide brim.
Oh, we need the cowboy hat. If someone has a cowboy hat, I want to see Jeff rocking the cowboy hat. Has the call been made?
The call has been made.
Ben, that was some pretty wild stuff there. I mean, it looked like he missed a gear on his lead, and somehow you managed to pull the car up and stay in the drift.
Oh, it was fun. It was a well hell of a ride. Yeah, adrenaline's still going, so it was good to obviously drive with Jeff, coming all the way over here, and I've come all the way here too, so to drive against the FT driver is a dream come true, so I'm pretty stoked.
Cool, mate. We'll see you out there again tomorrow. So, mate, what actually happened on your lead
Oh,
there?
my God. Well, on initiation, I wasn't prepared for the amount of dirt that was going to be on Outer Zone 1, so I didn't know where the track ended and where the dirt began, so it was just like all fluff of dirt through there, and then switching back into the rest of it, you know, just kind of letting muscle memory take over of not being a right-hand drive car, so pretty stoked to get through it. My first right-hand drive win. And I'm not going to take it away from Ben. I actually followed you in practice, so thank you for that. It was the best chase run I had. It was the only good one that I had, and it's freaking awesome, so thank you for that. So got some.
Very good, mate. And look, we'll see you back out in the top 8. And obviously, Ben, we'll catch you again tomorrow. And we are heading off to another ad break, and we will be back with the top 8 of the Pro from here from Taupo.
All right, so thanks to Smart Steel, the team just doing a remarking on the track there. Kenny, I'm looking at the tree, and we're going to have at least one international in the top 4 because we've got Brodie Mayer against Jeff Jones.
I'd love to have a chat with the judges regarding the Jeff Jones-Hodges battle.
Right.
Just clarifying a few penalties, but great to see that international battle door to door and Jeff Jones getting the win. So a bit of little line painting happening out here. I wonder if we can actually see the battle tree so we can see where we are in the bracket.
We're at top 8 now, aren't we? I think we're at 8.
Because we are lining up for the top 8. So it'd be great to see the battle tree for everyone and actually see what we've got ahead of us.
We'll just see if it does come up in front of us. Kenny and I can see it in front of us, so I'm looking forward to this because we know those top 2 have battled multiple times and we know it's always spectacular. The next two are probably the 2 wild children within the battle brackets. Then we got the boss man from JDM is in there. Wolfie, who's already been off the track. And then we've got the 2 internationals, the Missile Mayor. I'm going to call him that now, Brodie the Missile Mayer. And
that's going to be
Jeff
a hectic
Jones,
battle.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hectic battle. You got Brodie Mayer and Jeff Jones together. Luke Fink, Sam West. That could also go
That's
a
the
couple
2
of
wild
ways.
children. Yeah, that's the 2 wild childs.
Yeah, and Dan Woolhouse, Dave Steedman. So that is your top 8s battling for a place in the top 4. So we're building down to our final battles of the afternoon. So who's going to take a semi-final spot and get a chance to battle for the podium?
Well, you got a potential interesting outcome too, haven't you? Because you potentially have the... So we do have a real interesting potential outcome here, Kenny. You could actually have 3 JDM cars in the top 4 and JDM could lock out the whole podium, potentially. that is a potential outcome. We're at the 8. We're still a long way away from that, but I can see that already with them still having 3 cars in James McManaway, Luke Fink, and Jeff Jones.
Well, we got the battle of the teams this season, and one such team, Team DSR. We saw his teammate Adam Davies in the 20-metre rotary out there earlier, but now it's time for, I guess, DSR redemption. Can Dave Steedman keep flying the flag?
Well, this is the interesting part too, isn't it? Because depending on how these results play out, this is effectively RHP versus JDM probably for the teams battle. Because depending on how this shakes out with Sam West and Kurt Blackie still in, and you've got the JDM cars on the other side. None of the others, I mean, Fanger Dan's kind of rolling Fanger. There's no other drift corpers here. Adam's gone from DSR, so Dave's still in there flying the flag, and then you've got, you've got RHP and you've got JDM and you've got Brodie Mayer for Team Tasmania.
So we've got Northland versus Bay of Plenty, Whangarei versus Tauranga. We've got the RB and the S14, which will be chasing down the Coyote V8 of Mr. Whangadan Woolhouse, 4-time New Zealand champion. Multiple 3NZ, Dave Steedman in the chase though. And these guys are vets. They've been around a long time, the D1NZ.
Yeah, and neither of them will want to give an inch, right? Dave Steedman will want to hang right with Whangadan because he knows Whangadan will return the favour when he switches into the chase position. And it's so good to see that Castrol machine out front there. Dave Steedman not wanting to give an inch, looking to close back up onto Whangadan. Whangadan opens up the throttle there on that screaming Coyote. Dave Steedman, though, not giving an inch.
I was loving watching Dave try fire through there and just really get up on the door.
I reckon both of them have just done the tyres. I reckon we're going to see something wild here because neither of those held back. Both of them were high speed, plenty of tyre smoke. I reckon we're going to get to that final corner again, Kenny, and the corner of chaos is going to come into play again potentially as we take a look at the GT Radial replay. GT Radial, of course, the official tyre of D1NZ for this season, and there is Dave.
Dave firing in there hard on the picks. You see the front of the car squat down, locking up, trying to modulate it to try and keep the car in position for the chase run, but Whangadan certainly setting a big heater run out in front.
Whangadan, to be fair,
really dancing with that inside curve, but you talk about that front to rear transition zone. Near on probably the best I've seen so far.
Yeah, Whangadan, to be fair, also doesn't seem to have had quite the same dig problem with the Tri-Ace tyre as he had, as maybe some of the others have. Yeah, the Tri-Ace seems to hold on. Fanger probably also a lot more laps than anyone else on that particular tyre.
But it's also power output too and setup. You can dial a lot of mechanical grip in the car, and it can also chew out your tyre as well. So it's not necessarily just down to compound. There's a lot more intricacies in the car with how to extract grip out of the car while you're sideways. And it's funny when you talk about pro drifting, and we're always talking about grip.
Yeah, grip.
And guys that are new to the sport, they might understand a bit of motorsport, but they don't understand drifting, and they just sort of wonder, they're a bit curious about, like, really? You guys chase that much grip? And it's amazing how much grip you see pulled into these cars and pulled out of these cars, depending on what track layout they go to.
Yeah, we talked a lot yesterday about Fanger and the fact that the other comp car, they almost have to pull so much out of it to even make it drivable because it wants to three-wheel all the time. So let's see how this plays out here. Dave Steedman knows that Whangadan, Whangadan, I didn't expect it to be that far back. Well, maybe the tyre is gone.
Dave is putting on a bit of a good run here. A few jabs at the handbrake, which is opening the door for Whangadan to get on the door.
Fanger's come slightly down the track there, hasn't he?
He's had a good recovery, Fanger's had a good recovery because that midsection for him was not very good.
Yeah, again, if you have just joined the broadcast too, we are on a different system this year where the judges are basically one judge is judging lead for lead.
I've lost the car noise in my ears, so I can't actually tell who's on throttle or who's off throttle. So
yeah, we don't get it for the replay, right? We get the music overlay, which means we can only visually observe what's going on. We can't hear the throttle inputs. We know kind of how Fanger was driving yesterday with the big long strokes of the pedal. We know he was pretty smooth and flowing, and we know what Dave likes to do as well with that RB32 in the Mimico Hydrolink machine. Also sponsored by Dave's own business in the Vehicle Servicing Centre. I can see NMT on the side there in Napa Auto Parts as well.
Nice, fast, snappy, flowy transitions from Dave out in front. Really good start.
Was there a little waver there?
There was a little waver there, and then with handbrake correction.
Whangadan with backing also from Star Insurance, Farnley, and a few other brand partners who have been. Whangadan has had a lot of long-term partners, Kenny, something that you guys have had a fair bit to do with over the years. So both drivers jump out of the cars. There is Dave Steedman and Fangadan shaking hands. It's definitely not the first time those guys have met, and it's definitely not going to be the last time that they meet. Fangadan chucks the lid on as well, just to stay out of the harsh sun down there in the pit lane. So we are waiting for a decision here, and then Nick will have a quick chat.
Yeah, we're going again.
We're going one more time, Kenny. So we thought we weren't going to see a lot of one more times, but we're now at 3. So after being, yeah, this is
Yeah, well,
cool.
there was a bit of chat about that with the new comp format. People go, oh, so there's no more one more times. But no, that's not how.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And nobody minds seeing a good battle again.
Yeah,
what we
nobody
don't like
likes seeing a
is
genuine OMT.
We don't like 0-10s and 10-0s.
And it's certainly cleaned up some of the some of the more scrappier OMTs that we've had over the years. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, 60% of D1NZ OMTs were attributed to 0-0-0-0 scores. So or 10-0 advantages under the old scoring system. Of course, there's now 300 points available during a tandem, effectively.
Yes.
For each judge. We've got 50 points for each driver in style, and then you've got the lead judge and the chase judge who score out of 100 as well. So new scoring system in play, and we hope to unpack that a little bit more further.
Yes,
hello
our
to
wise
everyone.
men. Hello, boys.
Hello to everyone at home.
We haven't talked to Benke yet, so we've talked to Tony and we've talked to Mac. Benke, how are you settling in up there? First of all, how's the translation going from Kiwi to Australian?
Oh, look, I can't understand anything you boys are saying. Hey, Foster chips and all that jazz, bro. I'm going to have a munchie. No, but it's been an awesome time, man.
Cheer, cuzzy.
Yeah, cheer, cuz.
He speaks Whangaraan.
Oh, Jesus.
Dear.
No, it's very stressful, man. The boys are putting on an amazing show. They're not making this job easy at all. And, like, they're silly things too. Touch and ripple strips. Like, we've said so many times, don't touch them. And they just keep touching them. And it's really disappointing because the battles are sick, and those small, tiny things shows you, like, how good these guys are driving, because it's coming down to just a couple of points here and there. Which sucks.
Have there been any like big standout runs for you so far today?
Oh, today, standout runs for me definitely was in Pro Sport when Guy held through the middle completely flat like an absolute lunatic. And then before, Kurt Blackie not smashing into the rear of Michael Thorley on that transition earlier was just simply spicy.
There's been some really spicy transitions. It's been really cool to see as we see the JDM guys back out there with the RHP 180 S6. Sam West and Luke Fink are back on track for the top 8.
Yeah, this has the potential to get quite wild, Kitty. You've been using the phrase spicy. This one's hot and spicy and crispy, all rolled into one, because West won't hold back. He's Mr. 120%, right, Sam West, and Luke Fink in representing Fink's army, as legions and millions and millions, or whatever the Rock says, of Fink's fans, will be right there with him, right on the door, because he will want to win and he will want to lift that trophy, because he wants to be the first one to take the D1NZ trophy overseas.
Was he just,
no!
Was he just a bit too... he's given him a nudge in the back again.
Nudge,
so
nudge. Hi, Sam.
Now,
I'm here. Hi,
now
Sam.
we've got a little bit of the red mist.
Sam's out of that, and then Fink hits him again. Sam got out of that, and now he's waving, saying... So Luke just crashed into Sam about 4 times to say, what are you doing? You've shut the car down. And then
here?
Sam's waved at him to say sorry.
Was that the gridlock traffic sort of get out of my way at the end there? I mean, this is what I was talking about with Luke Fink. Look how shallow he was on angle. He was he dragging the front as well? Was that just to try and keep up with the pace?
Yeah, but then Sam's off there.
But Sam's blown way off.
Yeah, and then Luke's hit him once.
Hit him up the bum.
Yeah, and then he hits him again. And then he'll give him another nudge here, because Sam's not even drifting anymore. Sam's actually on opposite lock going the other way. He's out. So it's an incomplete for Sam, and then Luke's just going to, hang on, I'll just get you out of the way. So Tony Gallagher will love that. A little bit of super stock teams racing in there, just a little hit to pass. Tony will be giving him maximum points for that. I mean, that's an incomplete in my mind for Sam West.
Taking another look at it here, GT radio replay, and he's blown out way out there. So I think potentially 2 wheels off. If he's got 1 wheel in the dirt, he'll have 1 in the green. And then Luke Fink, just telling him to hurry up.
Yeah, so Luke doesn't know. So Luke doesn't know at that point in time what's going on, right? Like, he's still on lock sideways, so he's not sure So he's doing the right thing in terms of maintaining his grip because it becomes unsafe. If he just gets out of it, he's probably going to sledge straight ahead. He's going to slam into the back potentially of Sam's car and send them both spinning out. So that battle is exactly what we expected, Kenny. I think we called it early.
The Wild Boys.
Yeah, the Wild Boys. Yeah,
Childs.
we thought it was going to be 120%. That's exactly what we saw. I think we'll now have a mechanical inspection, is my guess, for Sam West. He may want to take that back to the RHP team and potentially check that car. Looks like is he asking for a tow potentially from the Smart Steel recovery team? Again, we are live on Oversteer TV, we're on Sky TV, we are on Foxtel, we're on KO, we're live in the Pacific Islands as well, so great to have so many people tuned in.
You gave him a little love tap there. Did that cause some issues?
Not at all, actually. We're having a bunch of cutouts. So I was having all of my own dramas there behind him, doing my absolute best. Then honestly, when he straightened up, I hate to say it, but I needed it. Like, I was struggling as well.
What do you think happened to him?
I think he's just running wide and then just went, well, I've zeroed at this point, straightened up and drove around, sort of the smart thing to do. For me, I'm chasing some temperature issues, and just then it was just cutting a bunch. So Russ is just jumping into the ECU now and making sure, hopefully I don't have any issues in the lead. Normally I'd be an idiot and just go straight back out, but once I'm trying to be smart about it and put on a good show for the JDM boys.
No, it makes sense. We got a championship on the line, so play smart. But look, I'm sure the boys will get it sorted. We'll see you back out there shortly.
Yeah, and I think normally I would have shut it down too, but I was kind of just trying to see if it was going to continue cutting, which was, sort of me just working out what the car's going to do and making up my decision whether I'm going to call the 5 or not.
Beautiful, mate. All right, let's get it sorted.
All right, so Luke Fink calling mechanical 5 minutes in the top 8.
Now this is interesting. So if Luke's called first, but then we've got Sam on track waiting for a recovery, so we're going to have dual 5. So I guess we move forward to the next battle potentially. Because we're in a, where are we? We're in the 8 bracket, so we can go forward, can't we? We can go to McManaway and Blackie. You can only effectively suspend competition if you haven't completed a full bracket, I believe. So the boys in the ECU there, just checking the temps and settings for Mr. Fink. And Sam West Sam looks quite lonely out there, really, doesn't he? Just leaning on his car. Quite an awkward place for him to be stopped.
Waiting for a mate.
Or is Sam actually just waiting for Luke? Maybe there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I think he's just waiting for him. I think what Luke said in the interview, I think perhaps he just knew that he'd washed out too wide and he shut it down.
All right, Wolfie versus the boss man at JDM, Mr. McManaway. We haven't called James the Mumble yet because he hasn't crashed into anyone yet, but maybe there are still big things to come. Maybe he'll do that against one of his other cars. You can crash into your own cars, right?
It's James McBall. James is right up on that ripple strip there and he's done it again. So, he's three-wheeling the 32 through the transition, off the transition, through the midsection, back up over the crest and... Oh, that's going to look good. Hopefully there's some photographers have caught some of the action out there. Of course, we used to call them the road cones, but...
No, they're now the Smurf Army.
The Smurf Army?
Yeah. And Bruce has got the Oompa Loompa squad in the orange.
Now, James was a little late on the entry in the chase there from what I've seen earlier in the day. And there's that ripple strip that I was using. So
big grab of green.
You're allowed to use the ripple, but he was on the green, and then he's dropped the dirt in the dirt there. So we talk about the green. We talk about a green painted line that the judges have to use to measure the penalties for the ripple strip uses. Now the lead car has to stay off them, but the chase car has a little bit of leeway to use them to get onto the door. But just how much has James McManaway used here in the chase run, in the 32 and the chase here?
Well, I think he's gone one off one side and then one off the other side. So he grabs some green there, and then he grabs some green the other way.
Okay, so it looks like Luke Fink has finished his 5-minute call. So multiple camera angles happening of the action here in pit lane and live on track.
What is the thing in the window of the Barn Find R32? Is it a duck? Some sort of Japanese character? Duck or an avocado?
Some sort of
soft toy?
Teddy bear? Soft toy?
Important things that we need to know here at D1NZ.
Passenger.
Don't worry about what the engine is or the turbo or the diff or anything else. Just what is the soft toy in the car?
Maybe we can get a close-up when they pull into pits. Lights are green.
see we've got our audio back from Launchmaster Willie's Kingdom there. Now, that's interesting. Now, Kurt, I feel like Kurt went to initiate there and then James was still where he wanted to be.
Kurt Blackie trying to hunt him down.
Yeah, Kurt Blackie's brought the aggression to this battle here. He probably knows, I think, that he's got an advantage, but he... Oh, no! He's
Don't
gone
go
past.
too far. Don't go too far past the 8
Dial it back, dial it back, dial it back.
Oh, he's really trying to push him across the finish line. Kurt Blackie.
Okay.
The fans are loving that here at the track, and that was a wild run.
That Seaton there wiping his mouth. There's a little bit of dribble coming out the side there. Seaton got a little bit excited about that battle. I think Seaton thought he was going to be fixing a silver 86.
Here it is. Here's the GT Radio replay. Kurt Blackie just took the opportunity to ride that ripple and get up on the door right here. And just committed out of the smoke, but he's just fired right up past the A-pillar, and I know the judges will be shaking their head at that.
Well, it is very clearly...
Was there actually
it's cone not... Oh, no, James at the cone, though. But yeah, you're right. So you're asking the question, did Kurt push so hard that he's actually just slightly knocked James offline, and that's caused James to hit that cone, which is going to be the deduction for running off the track. Kurt Blackie needs to not listen to Sam West. Okay, they need to dial it back. Whatever they're feeding them in the pit bay of RHP, dial it back from 120% to 103 or 105. Because these boys are getting a little bit too angry today. They're getting a little bit angsty. Is there a touch?
I'm loving the newfound form. Kurt Blackie in a car that's been rebuilt and refreshed from the ground up.
I don't think there was a touch.
He's just driving out of his skin today. So is Kurt Blackie on for a semi-final? Has he done enough, or is the barn fine 32?
Oh yeah, the door. What happened to the door?
Did he hit him? Did he actually hit him?
We got some evidence.
Oh, Kurt.
Lovely.
Okay, you need to don't stop taking driving advice from Sam West. Dial it back to 105%.
Well, we wanted door-to-door action today, and we certainly got it. Kurt Blackie pushing James McManaway across the finish line. We'll await the judge's decision.
Kurt Blackie universally...
Our fans online loving that one too.
Yeah, Kurt Blackie too, universally voted as the best looking man in the pits by none other than Kurt Blackie.
You're going to get slapped when you walk out of the commentary box this afternoon.
But that's all right. We're here to have some fun. We need to bring some joviality back to drifting. We are here, we are positive, we're on a new journey, the new chapter of D1NZ.
Oh,
the
call anticipation.
Is... McManaway.
Wow. James McManaway gets the win.
He really tried to send a message there, didn't he?
Well, he did. I got him last time at Bay Park, so it's only fair, right?
Yeah. Hey, so is that your highest finish in D1?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. It's the barn fine.
Whatever it is, just keep doing it.
Keep doing it. It's off to America.
So James McManaway puts himself through into the 4.
Kurt, that was pretty cool there, mate. You really sent a message to him, didn't you?
Yeah, had to stick it to the boss man, you know. But I had to give it to him, you know. Yeah, it's only a good thing to do.
He's driving out of his skin today.
Yeah, he is. Bloody hell, he stepped up his game. Bloody hell.
And where do you think it went wrong for you on this battle?
I'm not sure. I have to look back on the videos, but I felt like I did a pretty good job. Obviously, James did a better job, and best man wins.
Look, it's a good start to the season. Obviously, we're back out there tomorrow, another day.
Yeah, that's it. It's pretty good with these double headers, so you can have another chance the next day if you not do so good.
Wicked, mate. Car looks awesome. We'll see you there tomorrow.
Well, we have to remember, rubbing is racing, but contact is, you know, there's a few things there that the judges have to work with within their rule set. It would be nice to actually give a chat to them and get some of the more finer details on the scoring.
I think the boys are under a bit of pressure, to be fair, though.
But
Certainly
the JDM racing team, feeling a bit of pressure. Can the RHP boys continue that pressure here with the form of the 180 of Sam West?
Well, this is RHP versus JDM again, so it's the same two teams again head-to-head. We know that Mr. Fink has an advantage at the moment. We know that he's battling some car issues with some limit cuts related to temperature and some other bits and pieces. Probably a little bit easier to drive the car in the lead position, right? Because you're not sucking that hot air in from the car that you're following. So Mr. Fink doing Fink things out front, and Sam West really with no answer there, Kenny. There was a big old gap back to Mr. West.
I think he just had to drive to where he was sitting at that point after the initiation. He's tried to go with him, but there was a few little things there from the lead car too. So you'll see that seesaw that we used to talk about. The lead car does something, then the chase car does something. So
There's a little waver there in the chase from Sam West. At that point, you're right, though. He is a long way back already from
Sam trying to feed the steering a little bit more. And look at that! Look at the car trying to tilt up on the third wheel, three-wheeling it, drift triking it through the end.
So we are in the top 8 here of the D1NZ round number 1 here at Taupo Motorsport Park. The first round sponsored by Ting Tools. We are awaiting Daniel Wilhouse and Dave Steedman for one more time. A result through shortly for Luke Fink, Sam West. We've got James McManaway through into the 4, and then Brody Mayer and Jeff Jones battle the internationals to close out the 8 as we work towards a winner here at Taupo Motorsport Park. Again, there is Luke out of the car, just having a chat with Sam West. And there is the call in favour of Luke Fink. Luke Fink through to the top 4. So with that, Kenny, that will mean that the JDM team...
Luke. It's really looking good for Team JDM today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got El Jefe. Did James go through? James went through. Kick the ball, boys. Yeah, I don't know what the boys did when they plugged the computer in. I think a lot of these times it's probably better off just don't tell me. And it's worked out for the best.
They fixed it for you, so that's what counts.
It still had a little, I guess, a hiccup on the first one. So, yeah, on the first corner. But then she came good, so...
All right, back into battle, boys. Fangadan throwing it in real hard and aggressive there in the one more time battle. We need a result this time for Fangadan and Dave Steedman. So Fangadan... for fans online, is still well and truly in competition at this point. He has been taken to a one more time by fellow veteran Dave Steedman, a pair of old timers out there, Kenny, who have done this once or 100 times together. They know each other so well in terms of driving style. You can tell when you watch guys who...
Both of them, sorry, I should have pressed the mic button. Both of them are really great battlers. Dave's been in the series a very, very long time, as well as Fang and Dan, so both of them love battling each other, and you see Dave just coming out of the smoke there through the midsection, trying to regain some composure and then really get on the door, but he didn't quite pull it off till right at the very end. But he hung with him. He hung with him, and Fang and Dan just setting out pretty consistent run. Oh, he had a correction at the start, but he filled that out of zone.
Dave wasn't as close this time, was he? So because we are on a one more time, we're now going lead for lead, chase for chase, and we're doing it only the one time, and we have to have a result. So we can only have an A or a B this time. We can't have an OMT. So either A or B will lock in as your winner from this and move into the 4.
Will be determined by that lead for lead, chase for chase. What can Dave Steedman bring out of the bag? Has the 3.2 stroked RB got something to answer for the Coyote V8?
How do you reckon this chat's going out here on the track? There's some Tasmanian to Californian. Do you reckon they even understand each other, or are they just, maybe they're speaking, what was the language before? Whangarean? that was what you were speaking before, wasn't it, Kenny? That was what Binky thought it was anyway. So
that would be Fang and Dan lining up against Dave Steedman here.
All right, and here we go. Steedman, what can he do against the 4-time DK? Fang and Dan just quietly, you heard us say, snuck into the venue yesterday. No real fanfare, no real noise, no big announcements. Just here and just having a good time with, did I see the little crew chief here, Jesse James? I think I saw him yesterday. Might have appeared on camera.
Do you see that? You see that Fang and Dan just held that back and now has really capitalised on it through the midsection. Dave Steedman, though, clawing some car pace back. Look at Fanger on the assault. He is trying to hunt down Dave Steedman, and he's right on the door of the Hydrolink S14. Was that too scrappy to get there, though?
What this makes me think is that Tri-Ace tyre maybe is holding a little, just, it's very slight, right? Like
yeah, and I think Dave Steedman runs the Tri-Ace, or used to run the Tri-Ace.
Actually, you're right, yeah. No, I think you're right. DSR, I think we're on Tri-Ace tyres as well. Maybe if one of the DSR team is on the live stream, you can let us know if you are still on that Tri-Ace rubber. Does seem like that tyre just holds on that little, maybe minute little bit longer to enable the drivers to really open up that throttle.
So there was that thing that I was talking about at the start. Fanger was a lot more conservative with his angle, and he was able to use that to get his car speed back up to try and really get on the door. Because I think in this instance, second pass, Dave Steedman actually had a bit of car pace, and then Fanger wanted to get back on the door.
Did Fanger's car swing?
And it might have just come down to that initiation as well. So there was quite a few little mistakes there for the both of them. But it is OMT, so the judges have sudden death. the judges have to make a decision.
It's always nice that Fang is so much closer to his fellow competitor that he can just have a chat with them. Boys shaking hands again. They've definitely done this once or twice.
One of only 2 drivers in the, well.
Oh, Dave Steadman. Dave Steadman gets the call over Fangadan.
Fanga, that was some wicked work out there, mate.
Oh yeah, we're working pretty hard in there. So hot in these cars that yeah, it felt pretty good out there. I thought, I think there was mistakes from both sides there, but I thought, it could be another rerun, but oh well.
Super consistent from you both, but obviously we've got to get it tomorrow to get through yet.
Yeah, definitely, mate. We come back bigger and better, and see you tomorrow.
Dave, mate, that's pretty exciting.
Oh, super exciting. Still not super tidy. I need to tidy things up a bit more, but hey, to beat Daniel.
Every time you guys battle, though, it's like this.
Yeah, exactly. I think maybe I've beaten them once ever, so I'm pretty stoked to go through.
Wicked.
Very
We'll
cool.
see you in the top 4, mate.
Excellent, thank you.
Dave, I've got some bad news for you, mate. Things aren't going to get any easier because you're dating the top 4's Luke Fink. So you've gone from Vangadan to Luke Fink.
I was going to say, it was like, Fanger was like one of the only 2 with a left-hander, but then of course, no, Jeff Jones is actually trying to learn how to drive right-hand drive.
Yeah, the other way round. How do you reckon that goes in the drift sign language conversation when you're on the wrong side of the car? All right, Brody Mayer, Tasmania's favourite son. Jeff Jones out of California. Brody Mayer, we saw how blazingly fast he was before.
Yeah, this is going to be super interesting. But these 2 guys are hungry. They're very, very seasoned campaigners.
This will be the closest I think Jeff will come to like an FD style battle, I think. Just the way that Brody approaches things with just that speed that Jeff will be used to out of the Formula D setups and cars and the tracks that they run up there. So Brody Mayer's shallow there for 2. It's that same line that we talked about. Jeff Jones has taken that same line again, but he's going to blow out up off the track. Jeff Jones is 4 off. Well, he's 3 off.
It'll be an incomplete for Jeff Jones. He was so far off the track. Brody Mayer nearly had some dramas for himself, though, in the lead. He just about nearly stalled the car before he crossed the finish line.
It's that different line choice, isn't it? We're seeing the internationals have definitely got a different way. So Brody swung across there.
It was a bit of an awkward entry. Like, Jeff Jones followed him, he followed the lead car straight in, but he didn't hit that first outside zone.
And then he came across here, and you could see it right from there, right? It was going to blow up off the track. It was just going to blow straight out wide. 1, 2, and 3 wheels off there.
Rodeo.
Yeah, rodeo. Yeah, that's where the cowboy hat is. What's that thing called? PBR, right?
So Brody Mayer, he got half the cylinders out in front. but
then what happened to the end there for Brody's car? Did he just get off the throttle a little bit? You saw it just jump. Watch the nose of the car. It sits back down and then goes again.
Yeah, he's on the curb there too. So he's missed an outer zone, and then he might have taken too much out of an inside apex as well in terms of penalties. Jeff Jones was out doing lawn mowing, and then Brody Mayer was having his own troubles. He was not quite filling the scoring zones that we want to see.
That's definitely the fastest Jeff's had to drive that car there, right? To hang on to Brody Mayer. Like, I don't think he's, with due respect to the rest of the field, getting to this point, right? The level has gone up a little bit now.
I think at the midsection he was like, send it.
Yeah. Just full American send it, yeah.
Full send, hang on, let's hopefully get back onto his door.
To quote Jared Dean, send it, yeah. Lick the stamp and send it.
Oh, interesting, he's having another scrub. A little bit more heat into the rears.
Well, we do
probably
know
clean the fronts up too.
We know that Jeff, Luke, Ben, etc. were talking yesterday about the GT radial tyre because it's not a tyre that they're used to. It's not
so
one.
So it's a new learning experience for the whole team as well.
Yeah. So not only are you on the wrong side of the car, you've also got unfamiliar rubber, unfamiliar car. Just the fact that Jeff's made it this far in competition in itself is pretty amazing, and he will have the lead with the man from California. Brody Mayer will have the chase, the Drift League boss out of Tasmania.
4-cylinder SR up against the LS V8 turbocharged.
It sounded like Brody Mayer giving that a couple of clutch kicks to get that turbo spooling.
Yeah, another kick in the clutch there.
Oh, Brody Mayer's blowing up though, is he? He's blowing up off the... Oh, Mayer hits him! Brody Mayer hits him. Will it turn Jeff Jones around? Now, is that going to be determined the fault of the lead car? I said that Sam West and Luke Fink was going to be wild, but that's like 2 internationals, I think, going like trading blows on the track. I don't even know what to make of that.
We're gonna take a breath. We're gonna unpack this.
Yeah.
We'll go to the GT Radio replay. D1NZ round 1 here at Taupo Motorsport Park. It is the first round of the season on the reverse layouts. Now, he took quite a few stabs at the clutch, Brodie Mayer in the chase, and then he was way offline on that second outer.
And then he surged up.
He surged up, but I think Jeff Jones was a little bit bogged down on transition because he was shallow in angle. It looked like he went to go transition, but he was stuck there.
You know what I think is going to happen because of the way that what we've seen so far? I think we're going to almost see a 0-0 on that one, maybe.
So it's going to come down to that first lap.
Yeah.
If there's a difference in the first lap between them,
then that'll give us a decision. If there isn't, then yeah, maybe we see that OMT again. But yeah, like there's a minor there.
Was that 1 or 2 in the dirt and then contact?
It was just a case of did Brodie cause that or did Jeff cause that? Who was determined that fault?
It might be shared.
Yeah.
It could be shared with those wheels off from Brodie. So,
and again,
I feel like Jeff went into the transition and the car just stuck there. It didn't fully rotate. Or maybe he was trying to hang back a bit and rotate a little bit later.
There's a lot of
trying to
signing
extend the transition out, but yeah.
There's a lot of signing of other people's cars going on, Kitty. I think maybe everyone's forgotten that we've got day 2 coming up tomorrow. We're starting to smash into stuff.
Yeah, normally you'd leave the demo derby till the end of the day on Sunday.
Oh, look at these guys. Australian to American. The Kiwi guy can't understand a word of what's going on. Jeff said duck, I think, in American just then.
Now, something that you'll see hanging off the arms of Jeff Jones are the arm restraints, which is actually something that's in FD but isn't in D1NZ. So some of the safety things a little bit different between the rules and regs here in New Zealand.
I think some of the drivers run them, don't they, by choice? Because some of them they're actually sewn into the race suits, so you can run them if you want to. I know I used to have to run them when I did Speedway. Obviously, the open wheel kind of open cockpit style cars, you kind of flail around when you're accidentally upside down sitting on a wall at Huntley Racetrack, which Tony Gallagher and I have both done, I believe, and Matt Kwok. So 3 of the team. Now, the fact that this is taking a while makes me think that they are probably looking at the replays again, and I'd say the longer it goes, the more likely we are to see an OMT decision, Kenny, unless there is a clear judgment of fault from either the lead or the chase driver. Look at those serious faces of the judges there. We've got box and box. Tony Gallagher just looks like he's sweating buckets up there. He is a man under pressure.
They're going to need a few more tins of Monster, I think.
Well, they can't talk to each other. They have to make completely independent decisions, so they can only go A, B, or O. That's all they can do. So they have to look at the footage.
We're going again.
There we go. That wasn't a bad call, was it? So
it would be nice to actually have a quick chat to the judges if possible. But
yeah, there'll be no cars left by the end of this. Do they?
Wow, so these guys are going to have to quickly turn the cars around. A quick service, fresh rubber.
Because of where we are in the bracket, we can't move ahead either.
How exciting is that? We are going one more time with those 2 boys. Right after the ad break, we'll see you back and we'll determine who's going to the top 4. Cannot wait.
Ambient atmosphere here at Taupo Motorsport Park as we wait to progress into the top 4. We have Dave Steadman locked in, we have Luke Fink locked in, we have JDM boss James McManaway in the barn find locked in, and then we are waiting Brodie Mayer and Jeff Jones going one more time. A phenomenal start to the season here at Taupo Motorsport Park for the D1NZ season for 2025. Of course, the drivers are competing to get those all-important points, and of course that beautiful Ting Tools toolbox looking resplendent down there on the start straight. A big thank you to all of our commercial partners who are supporting us here this weekend and supporting the sport of drift, and a big thank you to all of the drivers sponsors as well. Of course, a number of them are looking for continuing commercial support, so if you see something you like on the broadcast and you want to reach out to any one of the drivers, then a majority of them do have social media presences. Find the driver you like and follow them, reach out to them, and maybe you can do something and get involved in the fantastic and fast growing sport of drifting as well. Well, what an afternoon. Crowd locked in here at Taupo Motorsport Park, day 1 of 2. Of course, these guys have to come back tomorrow. I'm not sure if someone has told some of these drivers this because they seem to be playing demo derby out there on the racetrack. But again, we have already locked in one result for the day. We had Guy Maxwell take out the Pro Sport competition, the Pro Sport 235 Development Series over Dean Young, with Corbin Wilson in third place. So a good start there for Guy Maxwell as he hunts down Pro Sport season glory and possibly a trip to Japan. Dean Young in second and Corbin Wilson in third place. NZKW, thank you so much for your support. Wonderful little race seats that we're sitting in here, both in the judges box and in the commentary box. NZKW parts available online. Taupo looking beautiful. 4 seasons in one day sometimes we experience here. We started off foggy this morning, probably about 24, 25 degrees now as we take a look at the section we are competing on today here for round 1 of the D1NZ. Tomorrow we switch around and we go in reverse direction. We go back down the straight from a standing start. Hello to some of our media there, just down on the front straight. Lots of media, the Smurf army as we like to call them. I'm far more interested in the shoes, to be fair. The kicks are good, the kamikazes. Bring Reebok back. Let's take a look at some highlights that we've seen so far. All right, so here are some of the highlights just to take a look at how things have played out here today. We had Sean Potros for Champ Vision go through. That is Mr. Fink doing Mr. Fink things, taking out Braden Mayer, putting him back on the trailer as he worked his way through the field. Connor Halligan versus Clayton Daly, and it would be Connor Halligan who got the win there, moving his way through as Clayton Daly just taking his brother's car off-roading. And then we had the battle of the JDM teammates, the Boss Man versus Jeremy Slammett, who rebuilt his engine overnight and trucked the car all the way back from Palmerston North. Little love moment in the pits there from both drivers. The VIP boys, yeah, they'll need to pay for that flag later on. That was Dan Caldwell and Sam Edinburgh just putting on an exhibition run. That was an anomaly within the tree because both those guys actually qualified in the same car for today. So that was just a bit of exhibition fun being put on by the VIP boys. A little bit of a look under the bottom of Dean Young's Pro Sport car as the boys get it race ready for tomorrow. Then we came back to the track. It was JP, Justin Patterson and Ben Odger's Drift Japan Tours. Drift Japan Tours, of course, the major prize for this season. Both our Pro Sport and Pro Champion will head to Japan for an ultimate Japanese drifting experience. And it was, of course, Ben Odgers who went through. Fangadan took out the hard-charging Sean Potros. Fangadan just snuck in without much fanfare this weekend. There wasn't a whole lot of social media content as we sometimes expect with these big name drivers, but Castrol backing him for the season as he drove past the spinning Sean Potros to put him on the trailer. Rody Knowles, Amalgamated Roofing back driver, doing battle with Dave Steadman. Dave Steadman would bake up those rear tyres and Dave Steadman would book his way through into the next round. And we took a look at Ben Odgers and Justin Patterson again. That was a one more time battle. I had to refresh my memory there that we did see that one go one more time because of the awkward way that that battle kind of played out to start with. Adam Davies and Jeff Jones, I think it is. Hard to tell from the higher shot. We've got a lot of team liveries that look quite similar.
Good to be back, Warren. Just had to take a quick break.
Oh, okay, all right. Fair enough, Kenny. Kenny, it's hard work, isn't it? I think people don't realise, they think we just sit here and just talk, but it's actually quite hard to keep track of everything that's going on. We've got a director and
another full day of it tomorrow as well. We've got 2 more tandem elimination competitions to get underway tomorrow. And I think we're one of the only series in the world that run 2 competitions in one day.
Oh, all right. Adam Whitehead, tough kick-off to his pro campaign. Number 2 qualifier, but put on the trailer, unfortunately, early. Really self-inflicted. All right, here we go. We are switching over now, I think, to Dave Steadman and Luke Fink. So it must be because we're time certain, Kenny. So we are going to try and find our first finalists. The way things are going, this makes me think that we're probably not going to see the 3rd and 4th battle either. I don't imagine we'll have time for that in the schedule. So
unless we get some clear-cut zero runs, we could be time set for 3rd and 4th.
So in that instance, it will be the driver who qualified in the higher position who will be determined as the third place finisher.
All right, another straight 6 turbo versus V8 battle about to unfold. Let us know if you're a V8 fan or a turbocharged fan. Big hello to everyone tuning in on YouTube around the world, as well as Fox Sports, Kaio and Sky Sport in New Zealand.
All right, Dave Steedman will have the lead with Luke Fink in the chase position for JDM Mimico Hydrolink versus the JDM Monsters, RB32. Dave Steedman, now that was a weird start from Dave. We'll have to take a look at the replay, but Dave Steedman started out really wide there, Kenny, almost on the green there, and I wonder if he's put himself at a disadvantage right from the start there, because I don't know that the judges wanted you that far out right at the start. Luke Fink maintaining proximity here, and he will come down to the inside there and close up on Dave Steedman. These guys are looking for a place in the first and second place battle.
Battling for a spot in the final. The cream has risen to the top.
Well, JDM has, hasn't it? Haven't they? They've pretty much sealed the first team's prize by having 2 cars in the top 4.
So interesting line there from Dave off the entry. He went and took that wider line that we've seen Luke running all day, all day yesterday.
Yeah, but I don't think Luke and Brody were that far out. Like Dave almost looked like he grabbed some green to start with, so it'd be interesting to see how, because I don't think we've seen it. I don't know how the judges are actually going to view that one. I don't know if it was even talked about. This morning seems so long ago in driver's briefing.
Luke Fink taking a measured approach through those first scoring zones and then really dialing it in, trying to hunt down that door towards the end of the section. A great lead run nonetheless, a handbrake drag through that outer zone.
We heard
from the lead car of Dave Steedman.
We heard Luke say he wanted to play it smart, right? He's not trying to blow the car up or put it on the put it through the door like sometimes you see from Luke. He has in past kind of had a bit of a show first and let whatever happens kind of mentality, but he's obviously here this weekend to repay the investment from JDM Racing. He wants to go into his FD campaign with a win, potentially here at round 1 and maybe round 2 of D1NZ. So let's see what happens on this lead run, because again we will probably see that line from Luke where he starts off in a slightly different position and then he chops across there and he doesn't get all the way out to 2, but it so far we haven't seen it penalised for it. I think it's just played out nicely for him. Dave Steedman going to come back and attack now. Is Luke Fink going to run right up to the outside? Here is Steedman emerging through the smoke. Dave Steedman will close up into the door. Dave Steedman with a massive steering input there, had to wind it back almost straight to try and close up the proximity on Luke Fink.
He didn't quite catch it off the second transition.
He's happy with the car though. Gives it the roof tap of love that we sometimes see.
So Dave chose a more inner line on the chase. Now he's dancing with the green through that inner apex.
Yeah, even though he didn't make contact
at the same
with
time,
the wheel was over him.
Yeah, well, you have to remember Luke's was also on a more of an inner line heading towards the transition zone as well. So I feel like I'm swaying in favour of Luke Fink at this point in time.
It's pretty open at the moment, Kenny. It's pretty open.
But line for line, I mean, Luke takes a very different line approach compared to some of these other guys, as we've seen from qualifying yesterday and then today. And here's that steering input you were talking about. You see the wheel lock up and you'll see the marker on the spoke of the rim as well, which is used for the judging.
Yeah, you didn't see it fully go like flat, I suppose, like we've seen some other drivers do, but he definitely wound a lot of lock out of it as both pull back into the pits. Imagine if we see a Fink-McManaway final. Might just hit 88 miles per hour and take off. And Luke Fink goes through. Luke Fink locks himself into the final. So JDM has potentially one hand on some silverware for the weekend.
Luke, that's fantastic. You're through to the top. You're through to the top battle.
Pretty bloody stoked, mate. Sorry, just because you held not as short as you, mate. Yeah, I got a little bit lost there in the smoke, so I just tried to be as saucy as I could in the lead. Whatever Russ is doing on the computer there, she's not cutting anymore, so I'm real happy. She's still getting hot, but we'll just ignore that, eh?
It's a great start to your championship, mate, and we can't wait to see you in the final battle.
Thank you.
All right, so is it going to be the boss man McManaway against Fink?
Yeah, so
or is it going to be Brodie Mayer?
Yeah, well, I mean, like Luke Fink was saying, they were battling those engine dramas earlier on, and it sounds like they've got it fixed. Hi, Nick.
What do you reckon here? Is Mayer fighting that car to tame it? And oh no, sorry, we've got it one more time. This has slipped my mind. We've got Jeff Jones and Brodie still to go through.
You know, well, you are right though. Like Brodie Mayer, that last run, it almost seemed like the car wasn't performing as well as it was earlier in the day, and he took quite a few stabs at the clutch. Remember on his couple of his runs. So, is there something Is there a drama unfolding for Brodie Mayer in the setup in that car? Is he having his own engine dramas, or was it just a case of mistiming the entry and being in the wrong gear?
Well, look, we'll find out here because Jeff Jones has certainly got the speed and the power to hang with him in the JDM 180SX 2,000 horsepower on the track, Kenny. 2,000 horsepower, torturing tyres, GT radials on 1. I'm not 100% sure of what Brodie Mayer's running. We'll see if we can find that information out by tomorrow. Again, that different look at the track. It's interesting what's in the front on. Gives you a different perspective. Again, Brodie Mayer sweeps wide, sweeps to Jeff Jones has taken that same line again. Yeah, is he going to actually stay on track? No,
he's blown out again.
Yeah, same line. I think Luke. Sorry, not Luke. I think Jeff Jones is being put off by being on the wrong side of the car. Like he's just sort of losing his bearings through the smoke.
It's easy to forget that too. Like Jeff Jones has come from the States. He's used to driving a left-hand drive. And this is his first time competing in a right-hand drive car. I mean, on qualifying day, he was quite jovial about the fact that he came through that last sector and grabbed the gear shifter instead of the handbrake, and caused all sorts of dramas for him in qualifying. But you'll see there, he was all crossed up, washed out through into the midsection as they come back up over the crest, and you'll just see him there blowing way out, and I think that will be potentially an incomplete.
I do think Brodie is a challenge to chase just because of the speed that he generates. I think we need to be aware of that tomorrow. I think as we switch to that reverse section and they drive up the hill just with the power he's got, although we also know that probably with that slight uphill section, if that car falls off boost, it will make it a handful to try and drive. So we are getting to the business end of the competition here. We've got Luke Fink locked into the final. We don't believe we'll be running a third and fourth place, which means it will fall back most likely to the qualifying results because we are time certain due to a TV broadcast. So we await to see who goes head to head with Mr. Fink. So it is going to be a little bit awkward, Kenny, because basically James McManaway's sitting waiting. Whoever wins this battle is basically going to have to go and change tyres, then come straight back out and battle James McManaway. And the way McManaway's going, he's got to be feeling good, right? He's got to be feeling pretty confident. He just hasn't got a care in the world, right? He's in the barn find. It doesn't matter if he dings it, doesn't matter if he bends it. He can drive into Luke Fink if he wants to. He owns the car. Not that I'm encouraging that, but anyway. You can tell it's getting to that time.
Maybe there'd be a bit more reserved team orders.
No, there would not.
They've still got a full day of competition tomorrow.
There will not be any team orders. There will be send it and bend it, and we'll fix it overnight. That'll be 100% what goes on in the JDM pits.
SR Plenty versus the LS V8 of Jeff Jones out in front.
Sings such a different song, doesn't it? The SR Plenty. No, Brodie Mayer's, he's made a mistake. Yeah,
he's done the same thing. He's got himself crossed up into that inner apex. Not perhaps as bad. He was able to maintain the angle through it. But look at this last-minute attack. This dive through the end of the section now, up on the A-pillar of Jeff Jones.
That is not a pretty chase. Like that is. I don't even know what the word is.
He's done a great job at massaging the mistake. We'll see it here in the GT Radio replay.
Brodie is one of those drivers
with him on the entry, and then he's transitioned too early.
Yeah, sometimes his aggression is his own worst enemy.
And I think that little fighting that we saw with the front end of the car was trying to stay off those ripple strips because he knows you're going to get a massive penalty if you end up over there.
Now, who was the last person we saw surge up past almost that A-pillar? How did that result play out? Although I don't think it. I mean, it doesn't.
That was the Kurt Blackie red mist, I think.
It doesn't offset the fact that Jeff blew off the track, though, right? Like Jeff was gone.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, the chase car's done a really great job of massaging that mistake through that inner line. He's kept off the ripple, and while he had that drama trying to steer the car and get it pointed where he wanted to, he managed to maintain the fluidity, keep it on the angle that he had, which was shallow, but it's better than straight lining. It's better than making another correction or another rear initiation. So it's just great car control from Brodie Mayer.
Right, so I imagine that there is a bit of deliberation going on. I'd say there will probably be a couple of minutes just after this battle, because there will be a tyre change needed for whoever goes through in order to line up against James McManaway. So I'd imagine maybe some highlights or commercial messages potentially just make their way across the screen.
I'm wondering if the JDM
make our way through the day.
180 is struggling with a bit of side bite through the midsection because he's just blowing out consistently now.
More Australian to American going down here. Internationals here at D1NZ. Brodie Mayer is on your left-hand side of the screen. Jeff Jones on the right. Both drivers pretty pumped on being here, I think. And where has Mr. Nick got to? Has he got a decision for us?
Of course, if you're tuning in around the world, and big welcome to some of our Formula Drift fans coming over to enjoy some of the New Zealand action. Of course, Jeff Jones bringing some of those fans with him this weekend.
Yeah, Jeff and Luke have been really interesting to talk to this weekend, just talking about the whole brand piece, brand awareness, carrying it through social media, promoting the series, promoting yourself as a driver, promoting your sponsors, and just saying, look, it's probably something that as Kiwis, we're probably a little bit humble with. We don't do enough of it in telling our story.
The tracks here in New Zealand are so much different to what we see overseas.
Brodie Mayer goes through. Brodie Mayer goes through, so Brodie Mayer will need to change tyres. So we'll have another international Kenny making his way through to the 4 against James McManaway.
So the tracks here in New Zealand, I mean, like, we've got real long, like, you look at the apex to apex scoring zones, and there's a lot of new outer zones here on this layout that we haven't really sort of run before this weekend. But the New Zealand tracks, compared to some of the more international series like what you would see in Drift Masters or Formula Drift, very, very different. I mean, these are big, wide open race circuits where the scoring zone, the length of travel between the different scoring zones and apex to apex is very, very different to the stadium style drifting that you see with Formula Drift or Drift Masters. So it's interesting. Every time we see an international driver come here, especially to Taupo Motorsport Park, I mean, I remember standing in the infield one year when Daigo Saito was driving the GT86, the Toyota's Galore GT86. I mean, someone like a caliber of Daigo Saito was having trouble linking the section. So it's really interesting seeing the international drivers have a crack at these Kiwi tracks because they are just so different.
Hang on, Kenny, is there some breaking news here?
So breaking news is that we are dropping the battle for 3rd and 4th, so the pressure's on the team boss here. James.
Wow, yeah, don't know. I don't even know, what do we bet, like, who am I battling?
You are going to be going up against Brodie Mayer.
For what position?
And the winner between you two will go up against Luke for the final.
Ah, Roger, okay, well, full send. Going to kick the ball.
And Luke, have you got a preference?
I want to battle the boss. Honestly, Brodie's a ripper, and James is one of those ones. It's a bit of a roll of the dice. Sometimes he'll absolutely kill it, and then other times he'll kill anyone that's standing in the near vicinity. So,
are we going to see team orders like McLaren do?
The only team orders is don't total the cars, I think. Is there even he's like, you'd rather we didn't crash them. That's about it.
Well, we got to drive tomorrow. We got to drive tomorrow, so we got to keep the show on track.
We do indeed need to keep the show on the track. But it must be one of the first times they've actually had an All-Australian final here. If James loses. Well, James has the accent, you see, so... And he did spend some time there.
There's a script here. There's a script here. All right, we got to keep to script. Is he meant to get knocked out, or... I mean, I was watching the live feed earlier.
Scrambling the pot a little, to make it a bit of fun.
No, but I'd be happy to go against Brodie or James. Obviously, Brodie's thing is an absolute weapon. We know this car we're leaning against right here is literally a giant killer. But I know its strengths and I know its weaknesses. And, yeah.
Should we go for a little walk down to Brodie's pit and see how he's getting on then? Yeah. We might have to change his tyres for him, boys.
We're on a time limit,
James, go. Let's head down and see how the boys are getting on. They'll probably turn it around by the time we get there anyway, knowing these guys.
It's a bit of banter in the pits.
A little bit of fuel going in.
So Nick down there in the lane. We're going to get a chance to have a look at the car service here.
We're going to get you in the car as fast as we can, mate.
Yeah.
But so the third and fourth battle will be dropped. So whoever goes out of you and James will go up against Luke.
Cool. How exciting. Hopefully we make an All-Australia final. But yeah, we're up against it here a little bit. I definitely, the front wheel alignment's definitely pretty out after the contact with Jeff. We obviously can't fix it. But anyway, we're just going to send it as is, and hopefully we make it through to Luke in the final.
Good to see the boys are working hard. They're doing a bit of fuel. Do you want to jump in your car and we'll see you out there very shortly?
Hey, does anyone remember what Brodie Mayer said at the end of the World Time Attack Challenge about not needing internationals to keep a competition going? I bet he doesn't have that same view now that they're over here now putting the cat amongst the pigeons at D1NZ, because him and Luke, I'm pretty sure, would be pretty keen to take that silverware back over the Tasman. You can hear the activity going on in the back there, Kenny.
And Ben, mate, we could be facing the first ever all-Aussie final in a New Zealand Drift Series.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting to see. Cheering on the boys is actually really fun. The Kiwis are trying to bring the battle to us. We'll see what we can do.
And what about for yourself? Like, if you had to, you know, put a little wager between the two.
Oh, interesting. Obviously, I'm going to back my teammate, because if I said Brodie was going to win, there might be some trouble. But nah, definitely, Luke's got it. We got the car for it, so I think he's going to take the win.
And moving to Drift Japan, when is the next tour up there?
Yeah, so the next tour is in March. We go 2nd to the 12th. Oh no, the 12th to the 22nd. So we'll be here for the Auckland round, Mount Smart, and then pretty much jump on a plane straight to Japan.
So you guys are just drifting.
That's it. That's the dream.
Oh, well, look, it looks like they're getting his car fired up, so we will head back up to the team and commentary, and we'll go from there.
All right, thanks so much, Nick. Doing a great job down there in pits. I hope somebody's given you some water, my friend. The old voice is starting to wear thin a little bit. Kenny and I have been doing a little bit of hydrating here in the commentary box as well, just to keep ourselves on form, because we are back here tomorrow,
yeah,
Kenny.
We might need a few sound checks tomorrow afternoon.
Do you reckon? Sound check? We're not going to do that. This is a family show, Kenny. We're on Sky TV at the moment. We're on KO. We're on Foxtel.
Oh, we can crack a few cans of pop.
We're gonna do OTV after hours.
We call it fizzy here.
Yeah, OTV after hours will be a later broadcast that we'll bring to you. But it has been fantastic to see the interaction going on online via the social media channels. We love the fact you guys are just passionate fans. You're so behind and so entrenched in the sport and in your favourite drivers and all the other things that go on. We love that you guys have opinions. And look, what I would say is, if you are that passionate about the sport, get involved. Go to an event, be a volunteer, be a driver, be a coach, be a mentor, drive the sims, do whatever, right? There's so many opportunities to get involved in this wonderful sport of ours that keeps us all entertained for hours and hours.
The sim side of things is really stepping up, even here in New Zealand and Australia as well. So,
did I hear some
a lot of guys will, go home from the event and then blow off some steam on the sim.
Did I hear some talk of potential big announcements coming around Sims, maybe?
Yes, potentially looking at developing the Sim side of things from a D1 perspective as well. So hopefully we can work on a few things there to get that across the line.
So for those of you who have just finished work, we are closing in on the final formalities here at the D1NZ round number 1 at Taupo Motorsport Park. We have been told officially that there will be no 3rd and 4th place battles, so that will be defined by qualifying results. We have yet to find a finals opponent for Luke Fink for the JDM team. Luke Fink sitting there in the pits at the moment. No doubt the boys are giving the car a once-over, making sure everything is A-OK, as we have Brodie Mayer from Tasmania in Australia lining up against JDM team boss James McManaway. I gotta be honest, Kenny, I think sentimentally I'd love to see McManaway go to the final. I think the investment he's made in the sport, there are 5 cars here, the things he's doing at the moment for drifting, I'd love to see James go to the final. I think that'd be a cool thing for him. I've got no say whatsoever, and he's going to have a he's going to have a workout here to hang with Brodie Mayer. The barn find is holding its own, but that is definitely one of the faster cars out there, the Drift League Tasmania boss. And James, you can see, wanted to be right there with Brodie Mayer on initiation. Mayer smashes it and then heads out wide to zone 2, gets through zone 3, tucks the nose down into 4, transit. Oh, Brodie Mayer has it steering input there, and it went to go straight again, Kenny. It's that same thing we saw from Brodie having to fight the car again. He's created a big gap over James McManaway, but that's certainly far from a tidy run in the lead from Brodie Mayer. It feels like the car does what he wants it to do for the first half of the section, but then it's almost like it starts to get away on him. I'd love to know if there's something going on there in terms of whether maybe it starts to get hot and it pulls some power out or something.
Yeah, like a heat cut issue or some other
it's here,
minor
so you
issue.
can sort of see that it just it started to waver the nose again.
I mean, the car's got some pace. When it's on song, it's got so much pace, but even the barn find can be quite deceiving at times.
Well, I think it's so fast it's fighting to hang on.
Late on entry there from McManaway too. Late and very, very shallow in terms of line.
Well, I think he was just trying to hang.
Trying to capitalise and get it, close that gap a bit straight out of the gate. But that car is fast. That lead car is just so fast.
I'm going to be pained greatly if I have to deal with an All-Australian final. Well, a little bit of being pain, but I also think in terms of the...
Well, it's time for some firsts. We're one of the longest standing drift series in the world. We've been going well over 20 years. And, yeah, it would be interesting to have a couple of Aussies in the final, wouldn't it?
In the evolution of D1, and that we talked a lot about the new chapter, having 2 Aussies in the final would almost be a fitting evolution of the sport. Like in terms of cementing the fact that it is a global series that people want to come and compete in. It's actually probably the best thing that could happen. But anyway, let's see what Matt McManaway can do in the lead in the lead position with Brodie Mayer in the chase. What will Brodie do here? Because I feel like Brodie knows he's got the faster car, so he didn't give it that big kick that he did against Jeff Jones. Brodie's very flat through there. I think he's just trying he's almost trying not to hit McManaway.
I think he might have been down a gear that he would normally run and then chopped another gear as we wound up the power, but a bit of a correction there to try and hang with the 32, and he's got to be careful not to get too far up there.
That was like
I think that's the reason why we don't have the no switchbacks as part of the regs or the rules for the judging layout this weekend. So you saw James McManaway just shut it down.
We've seen some ugly messes through there, haven't we? As people have kind of come back across aggressively in front of someone without realising how far in the pocket they've been. To me, that's like 75–80% out of the Drift League machine. It's definitely not. You can see it doesn't like being not fully on song.
I mean, he was fighting it a little bit to keep it where it needed to be through that last section. You'll see there that little approach where the chase drivers are shallowing up their angle a little bit and then just stretching it out before they get to that transition. So
probably a really fast car that's hard to drive slow.
Yeah. Because you react differently to a car like that. It's got so much grip, so much power.
All right.
Your inputs are a lot different to something that's a little bit more skatey in the setup.
Now, hang on, let's see. So we know on the other side of the draw who's going to be third and who's going to be fourth. So Brodie qualified.
Dudley, James, go. Get the car turn around.
All right, are we turning the car straight around? Are we at a call?
James, mate, that was a pretty wild battle. That car is just so fast, isn't it?
It's just incredible. Like, we're in what we're in, and it was just impossible to keep up.
Yeah. I mean, mate, but this is great for you. I mean, top 4 finish.
Yeah, no, I'm certainly not complaining, put it that way.
No, wicked, mate. And obviously, we've got another whole day of it down here at Taupo Motorsport Park tomorrow.
I know, poor thing. It's just made it up to 91 degrees now in the water temp. So
and they're having problems with Luke's car as well. It's super hot.
Yeah, well, maybe Luke should stay in the R32 then.
And I hear Chicken's not on site either.
No, Chicken's not here. He's down at the jet boat bloody things, whatever he's doing.
So the boys have got a big night ahead of them getting these cars ready for tomorrow.
Chicken's let the team down.
All right, well, there you go, Chicken. You've let the team down.
Did we just see a chicken get thrown under the bus, Kenny?
Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh. He's got quite a few commitments tuning jet boats, I think, as well, doesn't he? He does all sorts of motorsport tuning.
I think a lot of the tuners do these days, don't they? I know there's a few others that travel around the place.
I do love the jet boats. Jet boats in New Zealand, the jet sprints.
Here
actually.
we are. Still us, smiley faces.
It's a bit like drifting on water. So if you've never seen it,
more money though.
Punch it into the YouTube machine.
Way more money in budgets than those big hydroplanes. The big hydroplanes. Yeah, I reckon those things are ridiculous. Look, Matt Quock's onto Monster Energy number 17 for the afternoon. Are you boys all right up there? You look like you're feeling a bit stressed.
No. Absolute no stress up here at all, mate. It's been a breeze.
I think, didn't Binky's hair start off black and now it's changed colour completely?
Yeah, my bro.
Literally, that's happened just today.
So what has been probably the toughest call so far this afternoon, do you think?
For me, it's probably been drivers that have taken themselves out. Like they've gone from having like a 98-point run to 0. There's been a handful of those, so that's tough to deal with, but it's kind of what we want. Nothing really jumps out at me as one particular run, but there's been a few of those.
How do you guys feel about this kind of all-international final?
No, not happy.
Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Should we let Binky answer that one?
Well,
look, no, cut him off.
These two are absolutely sensational in Oz. It's going to be a firecracker. And it's like, look, it's just the way it is. It's the way drifting works. Some of the boys that were out there, as you said, made some pretty annoying mistakes because they were on the money, and this would have been very different. But we're on for a show, boys.
Well, we've got an all-Kiwi commentary team, so that's going to make things saucy.
I'm 100% going back to what Brodie Mayer said on the podium at World Time Attack Challenge. He said, we don't need internationals. We've got great homegrown talent here. We 100% need internationals. The standard that these guys are lifting things to, the fact that you're there being here as a judge, I think is an evolution of New Zealand drifting. The brand new chapter, 2025, I reckon this is on to be possibly the best. A year of change, possibly the best season I reckon we've ever had. And I want to congratulate you guys on the work you've done up there as judges, and that sounds very complimentary, but I mean that in a sincere manner. The live stream feedback we're seeing is that most things are pretty clear cut, and they can understand when you're making decisions the way that you are, which is all you can ask for, I think, as a driver, as a fan, as someone who just loves the sport. So well done, boys. There you go. There's your little pat on the back moment for the afternoon. But Tony G, no, we're still not going to allow straight lining off the straight.
They've earned their drink today for the Monster Energy fridge.
I tell you what, this is not what I thought I signed up for. This is way. I used to hate One More Time so much. Now I'm like, you really need these things, you know. I don't know. I'm exhausted, eh? Like, I've sat in this comfy chair all day. I've really enjoyed this part of it, but I'm exhausted from doing so.
That's the laughter of a man who's had 15 energy drinks and is crashing.
Something I want to say quickly is normally when you're going on a One More Time, right? It's through a gut feeling that the three judges have.
Yeah.
And this time it's literally been points on a page. You know, and for me as a judge, that's epic because it takes, like, I don't have to let my conscience get involved or any of that stuff. It's just those points, say those points, that's the decision, you know? And that's awesome for me.
Yeah, and we've talked to that extensively, the lead, chase,
that's right.
style thing, and it gives that granular clarity.
And for many years, that's what we were aiming for, the lead for lead, chase for chase system. And now to really solidify that with the new format, I think, it's going to be cool to see how the season plays out. It's very, very clear cut.
It feels like we've got away from the whole, I know you can drive better, so I'm going to hold you to that standard thing. Like, it is now what it is. The number's there, and I look forward to seeing the feedback. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. If this is what round one is like,
we've got round 2 tomorrow.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 internationals in the final of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship for the very first time at all. Representing JDM Motorsport, we have Luke Fink. Representing Drift League Tasmania, we have Brodie Mayer. Brodie Mayer as the higher qualifier, and the SR Plenty will lead us away. 1,000 horsepower at the disposal of both drivers. Kenny Ruddle, here it is, the first final of the season for season 25. Round 1 brought to you by 10 Tools of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship for 20. Oh, now Brodie Mayer has gone off the side of the track. That is a weird way to kick things off, but he gets back into it. Brodie Mayer initiates on the loud pedal, and Fink has had a problem there. It didn't look like the car went when he wanted it to go. Maybe that car has finally cried enough. Is he going to hold that on the track? Yes, he pulls it up, but Mayer driving away out front there. This is not the proximity we expected out of this battle, Kenny.
Brody was real shallow on that inner ripple strip through the midsection. And there was just some weird stuff happening at the start. It almost looked like Luke Fink. Well, Luke Fink had 2 stabs at it. Look, watch this right on the edge. Yeah, he's way off there.
He's off the track.
Through the together zone, the rolling start. And then look at this. It was like 2 stabs at it. Yeah, just trying to get onto the rear quarter. So Luke Fink really trying to massage the mistake out of the first scoring zone. But then look at this. The lead car cuts down onto the ripple strip. You'll see a wisp of dirt fly up. So that's another penalty in the works there for the scoring. And then he just really plants the loud pedal down. Luke Fink tries to catch back up at the end, but that lead car is just such a rocket ship.
So something's got to happen here for Luke, right? Like he's kind of... It almost looked like there wasn't as much smoke coming off one side of the car either.
We need to be something like... When you look how crucial the judges have been, well, the lead judge has been on the line. I mean, Brody just didn't really get it to that outside zone as much, and maybe Luke Fink just sort of wavered off that again, you know? Like, maybe he was just trying to make the best of a bad situation off the bad start.
But then Luke's a long way back, right? So, hey, we'll leave this up to the 3 wise men because it ain't our problem to work it out, Kenny. You and I just get to call the action, and then in a minute I'm going to have to do my Usain Bolt impression again, which will be a very slow amble towards the podium.
You didn't bring your walker this weekend.
I didn't bring my walker this weekend, no. I'm gonna get a mobility scooter, I reckon, for one of these rounds. I'm not that old.
Electric scooter.
No, I am that old. I am old.
You're not that old.
No, I called.
No, you're giving yourself too much stick.
I called my first battle of D1NZ in 2003, and here we are in 2025. 22 years later.
I was still in primary school.
Don't say that. Anyway, here we go. We're underway for the final time, potentially here at the D1NZ it is. Oh, Brody Mayer! Brody Mayer off the track.
Big dramas for the chase car. Luke Fink may not have...
Luke Fink off the track!
Oh,
no!
Massive dramas. Luke Fink in the final. Brody Mayer, the Tasmanian Devil.
Oh my God! What did we just watch?
Oh my God!
That is the wildest finish to a D1NZ final I've ever seen. So we had ugly and ugly and ugly, and then we got even uglier. Oh, that is... I don't even know what the...
Well, we've had some spicy runs. We saw some sauce, and now we just saw some wild...
What did James McManaway say in his interview? Just send it and we'll fix the cars tonight. Oh,
Chicken's probably at the jet sprints watching this on the live stream going, you're kidding.
So Brody gets it wrong there, and is he 4 off? So that's incomplete. And then Luke goes off here, and that's incomplete. So that's a 0-0. So do we have a result then off the first battle?
Yeah,
or
it'll be 0-0.
Is there enough in the first one to make a decision? I've got to think there probably is.
Hang on. Yeah. Was it... I mean, did Brody zero himself out completely?
I can't tell if Luke Fink is laughing or not. I think Brody is 4 off. I think Brody's 4 off, and then Luke's definitely 4 off.
Here we go. Another look at it here on the GT Radio replay. Straight to, yeah.
Yeah, it's
0-0.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to the first pass.
I got no idea if I have to go to the podium, by the way. I'm going to assume I probably should. I'll go to the podium.
I think you should start heading that way. What a finish. I mean, how crazy is that? All international final here for the New Zealand Drifting Championship. Luke Fink is beached as out there, so they're going to have to recover that car, but the judges are going to have to make sense from the lead pass. I'm pretty sure they would have 0-0'd both drivers in that second pass. And the JDM S15 is looking a little worse for wear, as is Warren's race seat, because... We've got fluids flying in the commentary box. Oh dear. Well, what a day. What a day for the first opening event of the season. We've got another round tomorrow, round 2 of the Pro Championship and the Pro Sport 235 series kicking off in the morning. For some of our new international viewers tuning in, we do have our Pro Sport 235 class running about 10:30 NZDT in the morning. So do tune in on the live stream, and then we'll be back with the Pro Championship action in the afternoon, where we will be running a new layout tomorrow, which we'll see the cars starting off the front straight, which is a reverse of the reverse that we run here, because this is actually the reverse of the normal direction that a circuit racing car would run here today. So we take another look at the GT Radial replay. Luke Fink dropping back through that first section, and this is where the drama really started to unfold. Of course, Brodie Mayer had that massive drama in the lead. So this is, I mean, this is the only scoreable lap that we can look at, right? And if you're a betting man, perhaps Brodie Mayer had done enough in the lead to perhaps take the victory here today. So across live down in the lane to Nick and Warren, and it looks like the recovery efforts have been completed to get the JDM machine back in the pit lane, and we will await the result from the judges and find out just who has taken the victory here for the first round of the 2025 season. Boys still getting ready there. We're just taking another look at the GT Radial replay. That was the off from Brodie Mayer. Was that 3 or 4 wheels off? It was straight enough anyway. And then you see the big lock-up correction from Luke Fink that turned into disaster. Not only did he fly off the track, he then went up the hill and smoked the front end of the car up. So it'll be a bit of a turnaround tonight to repair anything damaged in the front of that. There's the rodeo action from the Drift League S13, SR plenty. The V8 out in front though, this is where it all went wrong for Luke Fink. It was such a hard hit on the front too. If you're watching live online, do jump in the live chat on Oversteer TV and join the action online. And a big shout out to everyone tuning in around the world, as well as on Fox Sports in Australia, Kaio and Pacifica TV. We're live in the islands for the first time, as well as live on Oversteer TV, Sky Sport NZ. And it looks like we're watching an old replay there. So it looks like we're getting ready for the podium as we see Brodie Mayer. And is that Connor Halligan, I think, having a chat in the pit lane? It's been a fantastic day at Taupo Motorsport Park. It's the first round of the season, Pro Championship Round 2 kicking off tomorrow, where the guys will be on the standing start layout off the front straight, right in front of the crowd. I guess the question is are the judges deciding if it was actually enough to give it one way or the other? Because Brodie Mayer, as much as he was out in the lead and had that big gap to Luke Fink, he did make some pretty big mistakes. Or has Brodie done enough to take the victory here this weekend? We'll have to wait and find out.
Okay, so I think we are closing in on a result here, ladies and gentlemen. D1NZ round number 1 for 2025. It does sound like we have results locked in. A very, very heavy lot of deliberation going on in the judges' box to try and get us a result, but we do have one locked in. So just waiting for our drivers, actually. We need drivers to do a prize giving. So drivers, if you could make your way to the podium, please, in your race suits. Drivers, if you could come to the podium in your race suits. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Fink, if we could have you. It's wonderful, isn't it? Just it's like herding children a little bit. It's a professional drifting series, but trying to get drivers here to give them trophies seems very difficult. Look at this beautiful, beautiful 10 toolbox over here. Some tools to give away, some trophies I want to hand out, but the drivers are just not here to give them to. So 3rd place, 2nd place, 1st place. Thank you so much, Ting Tools. Thank you, Drift Tours Japan.
I think they're on
Thank
Aussie
you to all
time.
the other sponsors who are supporting D1NZ. So just waiting for... This is very, very interesting listening to the chatter that's going on in the background. All right, can I give these results, team? Can I give the results? I think most of you know who's finished where. So I'm just standing here, just entertaining myself. Hi kids, hi to Sarah at home, hi to Kenny's kids, hi to everyone else who's watching still on the live stream, still watching on Sky TV. Do we have our drivers? Yes, we do. We've got James McManaway, we've got Dave Steadman, we've got, there is Brody and there is Luke. So, right, so we go to this. Okay, so provisional at the moment in 4th place, James McManaway, provisional James McManaway. Okay, so James, if you just stand over there, which means actually, I've just been asked, because you're also a very important man in drifting, if you would mind presenting the trophy. So you're going to shake hands. So this is really awkward, right? Finishing 4th and then being asked to present the trophies instead of Lance, because Lance is looking tired. So in 3rd place for Mimico Hydrolink, NMT Shipping and Vehicle Servicing Centre, David Steadman. All right, and I will now tell you who the winner of round 1 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship is. It is an Australian, Brody Mayer. Brody Mayer goes position number 1, which means Luke Fink is home in 2nd place. So this is provisional at the moment. Brody Mayer is 1, Luke Fink is 2, and Dave Steadman is 3. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our podium here at D1NZ, round number 1 at Taupo Motorsport Park. Where are the Ting Tools team? Hold those up, make it look pretty. No, Brody, you don't get to hold the toolbox up unless you can lift that up. It's probably quite heavy. So James McManaway in 4th, Dave Steadman in 3rd, Luke Fink in 2nd, and your winner for round number 1, it is Brody Mayer from Tasmania. All right, we got 3 minutes. You guys get 1 minute each. Sorry, James, I'm going to cut you out of this one. Dave Steadman, you got 60 seconds. Go.
Oh, it's been tough. Awesome day. Thank you so much to my crew, family and friends watching at home, and obviously our amazing sponsors, Mimico, NMT Shipping, Hydrolink, Napa. Wouldn't be here without you.
Thanks so much, Dave, for abiding by my instructions. Luke, that means you get 1.5 minutes now.
Just want to shout out to everybody that came out today, everybody watching on the live stream. That final was, can I say shit? Because it was shit. We both were garbage in the final, so I'm sorry we couldn't put on a better show. Both cars are very hurt. We got some work to do tonight. I was looking forward to maybe that rerun with strapping a 2nd battery into the front seat and getting seatbelt on and everything ready to go. So, yeah, hopefully the car's not too bad. And look, yeah, 2 Aussies on the top of the podium. Can't argue with that.
And last but not least, the man who said competitions did not need internationals. Well done, boys, on shaking up the apple tree. Brody Mayer, congratulations. First victory on New Zealand soil.
No, thanks for that. Honestly, it's been a crazy few weeks to get here. Obviously having Drift Fest in Melbourne last weekend, trying to get the car ready. Big shout out to the Halligans for putting in so much effort, picking my car up. I couldn't have done it without them. That probably was the worst final battle ever. But what the good thing is, we get to do it all again tomorrow. So I'm going to finish it here. Hopefully we see the final battle again tomorrow, Luke, and we'll tidy it up.
And I just got told by the team, I've got to thank the real Luke Miller for changing all our tyres.
All right, thank you so much, team. Round 1 of D1NZ for 2025 is now locked into the books. Brody Mayer, I don't know how you're going to take that toolbox back to Tasmania, or maybe it'll start up a garage here in New Zealand. You need tools here, you need tools. All right, hey team, don't forget, of course, that we are back again to do it all again tomorrow for round 2 of the D1NZ National Drifting Championship. I've been your host, Warren Sear. These are your podium for round number 1. One more time for Brody Mayer, Luke Fink, and David Steadman. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for playing.